Well, against all odds, we're here. I'm late and some major technical difficulties here. So I hope you guys can hear me. Still trying to sort some of them out, actually. So I'm going to bring people in to help me with that, like this magnificent gentleman here, Copa.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, whoa. I can hear you. I just can't see you.
Don't start that. So, fun evening so far. My PC will not work. So I have my laptop here set up, jury-rigged to try to run the show tonight, and hopefully it's going to go okay. All of my guests have been incredibly patient and attractive. So
thank you.
Vex has her bread, so that's exciting. I can see it now. Let's bring in these guests and let's get this show going. We've got actually Andrew, who is a last minute addition, and no Flaccid Phoenix tonight. So, Andrew, hey.
I'm glad I'm the Flaccid sub in.
Yeah. You are the Flaccid sub. No better sub than you.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm glad I bring the Kenergy that it.
Yeah, you're Knuff, dude.
Thank you. Yes.
Those glasses are Knuff too, so I appreciate that.
Thank you. Yes.
We have another special guest, Nadia.
Hey. I'm happy to be here, guys. This is gonna be fun.
Ooh, yeah, I'm actually sweating. It's kind of. Yeah.
I wore my Henry Cavill shirt today for Vex. So.
Well, now she's gonna be sweating.
I don't know why you were on AJ's time.
Like, I know,
dude. That's kind of ridiculous.
I thought reparations were done with, but
nope.
Zax, you sound so weird when you're frustrated because you have the Canadian accent coming out.
My Canadian is escaping.
Yes, it is.
I have doctors around the corner threatening to help me make this life choice. Is this streaming too stressful for you? Try this needle. Vex.
What the hell is that? Is that bread?
It's bread, bro. It's big bread.
Holy shit! Mamma mia! Mamma mia! Dude, I'm going to have to make a meatball big enough for that bread.
Yeah. We got jump scared by big bread.
I got my Henry Cavill shirt on too tonight.
Ooh.
Yeah, all right.
Henry Cavill isn't even in this movie.
I'll look at your tits.
Okay.
You look at my tits. We're good to go.
These are my rave glasses, though. I don't know where my sunglasses are because I have nice pink Kenergy ones somewhere.
Oh.
But these ones make me see like rainbow hearts when I look through them. So I mean. That's pretty rad.
Can you even see anything looking at your screen?
I can, but there's a lot of rainbow hearts around some of it as well.
So you're in Barbie land, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, holy shit. We're actually doing this still. Speaking of looking at boobs, Lofty, hey.
Hey.
Wait a minute. That was a backhanded compliment there.
It was.
Not really a compliment.
Last but definitely not least, you're all here for him, not for me. A little Platoon has been incredibly patient and kind, and it's the middle of the fucking night there for this guy, and I'm still keeping him half an hour late, and he's such a nice guy. He's still here. So.
You say it's the middle of the night. I'm basically nocturnal. This is just early evening for me. Also, like within 2 minutes, Lofty's been called a boob and Andrew's been called a flaccid sub. So I think this is going pretty well so far. I'm happy to stick around for this kind of thing.
It's a normal Wednesday night for us.
Yeah, it's a win. Tonight's a win. Wow. So chat is still here too. People are still here hanging out watching. I appreciate you guys. 63 people already. You guys are amazing. Yeah. Oh, whew. Okay. So I may have missed some people in the chat, but Dildo was here. Adam Gray's here. Cajun Corey. I think I got a Cajun Corey super chat, which I think I can highlight eventually. Yeah. This laptop's so small. Everything's so small. I'm used to these like dual monitors. Now it's one tiny laptop monitor. It's really hard to get used to.
Somebody said I look more gay than my actual gay opponent. It's not gay to respect the patriarchy, bro. Come on, get with the and pink is so in 2023. Like, what the fuck are you? Come on, dude.
Real men wear pink.
Yeah, real men wear pink. Real men.
If there's one group of people who famously doesn't respect and admire masculine virtues, it's definitely the gays. So
yeah, exactly. Come on.
Oh, Vex. Here you go. There you go. As well.
Let's get that large. Hold on.
Bro,
Yeah, show us.
Oh, all right,
Show us
there
your
you go.
cups.
There you
What
go.
is that? Looks like Ryan
Henry-
Seacrest.
It's Henry Cavill.
listen.
No, it's not. That's David Hasselhoff. Big
Are
liar.
y'all trying to like? Oh my god! It's like
Vex is gonna have to leave early. All right.
I know.
yeah.
And she's also
Really?
going to make more
Or at
AI
least-
porn.
Yeah,
or at
the
least put
cup.
the camera off.
The cup is what's going to send her over the top.
Let's hope that bread is absorbent.
Yeah. What's a good thing we got a
hi,
cup
thanks,
out?
Sketch. Some of these guys just came from my stream. I told them about this one just to stop by. Endless content on Wednesday night, boys.
Yep. We're going hard. Eraserhead, hello, Jana Banana.
Oh my god.
If she was running the stream, this would be starting on time, I feel like.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Um,
I'm just saying that because she's in the chat right now.
we're the Guns
start
N'
on top
Roses
now.
of YouTube. Too dated, maybe.
Oh,
Yeah, didn't miss anything good, Eraserhead. Yeah, we're still here, don't worry. Squeaka.
did you guys see the new Christmas I'm Just Ken performance today?
Yes.
That dropped?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's
No.
pretty good. It's pretty good.
I was listening to the EP before I hopped on. Had 45 minutes to blow. Yeah.
Can you feel the energy?
Zax, where's your sunglasses, dude?
I'm lucky that I'm even have lights working right now, so I'm okay.
Did you punch
I'm
the wall
okay.
and that's why the statue behind you is a little crooked?
Uh,
Zach's gonna kick all of us out.
no. I'm gonna kick myself out. I'll let Copa run the show. And,
I don't know how to run shows. Stop it.
Oh, shut up. There's Nagurdle Dempsey. What's up, Dempsey? Lady Billfire's in the chat, not on the show.
No,
Wanna
she
join
said.
us?
Oh,
You're
she said in
welcome.
the chat that she didn't get a link.
She got a link, I think. If not, I'm gonna get everyone right
I
now.
think
I think.
you also
think-
you also thought you
Look.
had a working computer.
You
I
should
did
get
think
Greta
that.
Gerwig in here too, if you can. That'd be fun.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. Let's get her in here so I can.
I'd rather have Ryan Gosling. I feel like we hit it
You know
off.
what's funny about Greta Gerwig? I don't know if you guys saw interviews of her. She sucks at talking. She
No
can't
shit.
pick your
Yeah.
thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
She
I
ever-
clipped from her extensively in my Barbie video. And I say extensively because it took her half an hour to get a sentence out.
I know, dude. It's like now, you know, Margot Robbie is a much better spokesperson for the movie than her. And when Greta was talking to James Cameron the other day on the Variety Actors or Directors on Directors thing, every time she spoke, I gave her 10 minutes to like figure out if she can say anything like interesting, and it just didn't work out. So I just kept fast forwarding, and it just to get to James Cameron whenever they were talking, because she doesn't know what she's. You know what I mean? It sounds like she's just like in over her head a little bit with this career. I don't know.
Do you really want to
Didn't
bring up
she get-
Avatar again?
Did
Oh,
you
we-
get married?
We've had a big conversation about Avatar before. You
Cameron.
know.
Yeah, but Cameron's fun. Whether you hate the movie or not, he's a fun guy to listen to talk about movies. You know,
He doesn't really talk about movies anymore, though. He does interviews from his submarine and talks about marine life.
no, there's a fantastic interview with him. Him and Denis Villeneuve, they talk about each other's films, and it's amazing. I like that's a good interview.
That sounds like a good circle
Dune.
jerk to watch.
It is, it is,
I can't do
but
today.
but it's fascinating because they made similar films, and they had the exact opposite approach to the production design. So it's kind of fun.
What films are you talking about? What are similar?
Avatar and Dune, pretty similar in the structure and the themes and all that stuff. But
The
yeah.
Going
Oh, so
Native
Dune,
thing, yeah?
Dune being the good one, so we followed
Right.
that design. And
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Looks
Oh,
better too.
Rough Girl, good to see you. Thanks for that, Rough Girl. It's been
I
a
know,
long
watch
time
that
since I've
movie.
seen you in a stream, so thank you for that. Cajun Corey, Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. Merry Christmas to you, Cajun Corey. We can say Christmas here, it's fine. Since he's not here, plug your ears. This is Don's song. Don, if you're in the chat, this is for you.
Beta male, beta, not an alpha male. Beta male, yes. Beta male, beta. You a beta male? Beta male, not an alpha male. Beta, what a shame. Mommy's boy.
Mommy's boy.
Mommy's
For a
boy.
second, I thought that was going to be trans people are my friends.
Gotta save that for the end.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a closer,
true.
dude.
Such
my
a
headset off for
banger,
that one.
dude.
That's how you close the show. So Platoon, the only person I saw covering that interview was you, and I watched your video again today, and Margot Robbie didn't know what misandrous meant. She's like, what's the opposite of misogyny? This is kind of like that. And you can see Greta Gerwig like kind of uncomfortably knowing the answer and not wanting to give it in the interview.
Yeah, there's a couple of little bits like that as well. And when Margot Robbie tries to portray it as a film with other things to say beyond feminism, and says no, it's just a really small piece of the pie. And Greta Gerwig chimes in, well, it's a pretty big piece of the pie, actually. Like, yeah, but it's not. It kind of is and isn't. This is such a thematically confused film.
Well, I took that. I don't know. I took that as Margot Robbie taking sort of initiative, because it seems like Margot knows what the movie's about more than Greta does about her own movie, but maybe she's just covering for it.
That's almost certainly is true, but I think that's because Greta Gerwig has two completely contradictory ideas for the film that she tries to cram into the film, and they don't go together. And so, like, you listen to her or you read her in one interview, and she will say one thing, and then she'll be asked about the other half of the thing she's tried to include. And she tries, even in the film itself, she tries to marry these two big thematic elements of humanism and feminism, which will never work because feminists are not human, so you can't put those two things together.
Yeah.
Just like it's to sit there, Nadia, huh?
Awkward, but yeah.
We are going to decide tonight if Barbie is any good. Is it a good film? Is it a film? Is it like a variety show or a series of vignettes strung together with a thin thematic layer? What is it? Because it was the biggest movie of the year. And maybe get into some Oppenheimer as well. But to get into that later, because we were supposed to do this last show, but Avatar was a beast that
right.
We had to ride that one out. So we didn't get to Barbie really. And I have all these clips made, so we can just use them. So Mr. Bigwig Majig, I got to be careful what I read there for sure. Too many G's too close together. You pronounce that wrong, you're in trouble. I'm here for Lofty's takes and Platoon's voice in Vex. Good reason to be here for sure.
I know it's kind of like he's probably here for like to see if I say something stupid, but it is kind of flattering that people actually care about like the content of my speech, and rather than like some other dumb reason, you know. I don't care if you dislike what I say, but at least you pay attention to, like, you know what I'm saying. That's cool.
My dream house, it's mine.
No, this is no longer Barbie's dream house. This shall henceforth be known as Ken's Mojo Dojo Casa House.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Like, you know, you're here for the Mojo Dojo, right?
Literally
Mojo.
peak.
The Kenergy.
Yeah, that's it.
The Ken Dynasty.
All right.
Yeah. The Kingdom. The Kendom.
The Kendom.
Let's go, ladies first. Nadia, tell us about how you feel about the Barbie film.
How do I feel about Barbie? I liked it. I liked it. I know I'm a rare canary, right? Rare for a woman on, I guess, in this community to really like this movie, because I wouldn't call myself a feminist, but I really liked it because of the mother-daughter storyline for it. Some of you know I lost my mom last year, so things like that emotionally hit me, and especially since I'm trying to have my own kids. So for it to end where it did, where it's the connection between mothers and daughters and passing it down, I really vibed with that, and I liked it. Is it my movie of the year? Probably not, but I would say it's probably in my top 5 for this year.
Okay, that's fair. How often have you seen it? Like just the one time or twice or?
3 times now. I watched it today as well before this.
Nice.
And I cried again. So there you go.
Oh, you cried in Barbie?
Oh yeah. I teared up every single time towards the end when
Why?
Barbie takes Ruth's hand. It's just again an emotional connection. It makes me remember the times of growing up with Barbie and having that connection with my own mom and my sisters and stuff. So it always like brings it right back to the surface and tears flow.
Okay.
Don't everybody just be silent and awkward about this.
Well, I'm just silently judging you. That's all.
Well,
I mean, look.
I cried.
Here's the thing.
I cried during "I'm Just Ken." All right, it's fine.
I cried that you gave Braveheart a 10 out of 10, and I just don't want to ruin that with this whole bit that you got going on. So
that's true. And when you leave with my mom, I lost my mom. It's like, how do we how do we go
right.
in on you with I'm sorry for your loss. That's all I can say about that.
I know it's okay. It's an emotional connection. Vex and I actually had this discussion before, where on all technicalities, I could say this movie is a man-hating film, but because I have that emotional connection to it, I enjoyed it. It's something that I'll probably enjoy in the future. So I'm just.
Do you hate men?
No, absolutely not.
That's what it
I'm
sounds
married
like.
one. No.
Wow.
I love men. I wouldn't be hanging out with you guys and Lofty. So. Like, sorry. I'm sorry, Lofty. I'm Team Lofty. You know that. You know that.
The team has already got a civil war brewing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
The Lofty NPC is rebooting, bro. I don't even think he's here.
Lofty, you here?
He was, but he's checked out now.
Yeah.
Dude,
she hurt his feelings. He's crying now. Someone's holding his hand.
He's Ken enough or what, however the hell you want to say it. I don't know. I'm just, that's my take on it. I like it. I know I'm weird. It's all right.
Do you think it's good?
Is it good? I think it's good for its costume design, its set pieces, its music choices, the story. I mean, I liked Ken a lot too. Is it good? Yes. Is it the best? No, I don't think it's the best.
But it's a good structural film.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
You think it's structurally good in story-wise?
Give me a second. Hold on. No.
Okay.
No. There's parts of it that could like the actual mother-daughter in there could have probably not been a part of that movie, and that movie still would have been good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Andrew, tell us about your Barbie takes.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest. Watching this movie, I watched it with some family, and we just kind of made fun of it the entire time. And then we liked Ken, so Ken's the only thing that we paid attention to. This movie's a 10 out of 10. What can I say?
Dude, no. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
I will say I do enjoy the first 10 minutes. I think, like doing like the world building of Barbie Land.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was nice. With like references to the toys and how that played into how the characters like acted and carried themselves. I thought the dialogue was nice during that 10 minutes with like this absurd, almost like meta commentary over it. And then they got to the real world. So
you said
that's where-
Copa's trigger word.
What, world building?
World
Ooh,
building.
God. All right. You know what I'm into? World destruction. Has got any of that? Let's get that going.
I mean, we had Godzilla, so you're probably happy with that one.
Loved it.
That was great. Yeah.
I had to go to the bathroom. I missed Nadia roasting me. I just wanted to say, Nadia, the minute I found out that you were not a horse, I lost all interest. So
It's okay. Hey, I said I was Team Lofty afterwards.
yeah, it's okay. It's not gonna work out. I mean,
It's okay.
It's
okay.
If you have a horse, you can come over and I'll ride your horse, but that's fine.
I'm married, Lofty. Sorry.
Oh well, okay. Well, you can still bring me your horse.
He'll just look at it.
Come on, I can't do patriarchy without the horse.
All right, Vex, where are you at with Barbie?
Oh, Vex. Hi, Vex.
I'm sorry. Hi. Well, I don't want to disrespect Nadia, but Barbie was kind of like what happens when an autistic fourth wave feminist fudges up the coat hanger abortion. That's what this movie was to me.
Oh boy. Yikes.
Wow.
I think this is one of the few movies that I genuinely, deep in my soul, actually hate. Hi, Lady B. Hi,
guys.
Lady B.
I'm sorry, Lady B.
It's okay, no worries. I figured like something was going on, and I'm like, okay, no worries. What was this movie? So many questions.
What was this movie? Perfect.
You haven't seen it yet?
No, I saw it. I watched it this afternoon, and I watched it with Will.
We're getting a
and we're
raw
just like,
reaction.
Oh, you made Will watch it too?
yeah, I'm like, I'm not watching this by myself. We were sitting there, and I was
Now, be
like,
honest. Will like the Ken parts.
I have a question. Why are all the Kens gay?
Because maybe
Beach,
we'll want to be
Beach
fruity
Ken is
sometimes,
not.
bro.
Beach Ken is not gay.
That's a bromance. That's how
He's
they
beach.
are, isn't it? That's how guys
He's-
are.
It's
Beach Ken is just
Oh.
beach.
complicated.
He beaches,
I'm,
all right?
I'm on
Yeah,
team,
he just
like,
beaches.
weird Barbie, like that was this.
And we're gonna
movie
pay him
was
for it.
so
I mean,
good.
realistically though, when has Ken not been gay? Like, come on.
fair. He's kind of gay, especially
When he's
like,
simping that hard for a chick that's just not giving him any of the
But-
puss, he's pretty gay.
But the deeper in this, if you explore the soul, Ken's soul, it's
I
not
was
it's
so,
not gay.
like,
It's not gay.
there
It's
was-
beautiful.
There was weird things
I-
in this movie.
I will say my husband absolutely hates this movie.
What?
He just despises it.
even Ken?
Yes. He just does not
How do
like
you
it.
not
He
like
doesn't
Ken?
get it.
How can he not like
It's not
Ken?
his thing. It's just
Dude.
not his thing. He's like, why are you watching this for another time? I can't do this.
Ken's literally me.
Yeah, Ken is us.
Ken is us, and we are
Ken
Ken.
is us. Yeah, we're.
I like Ken. Ken was like a go-getter. Like he cared. He was like he wanted to learn things about the world. Like Barbie was like, no, I don't. It's like her whole impetus for finding that girl was not because she really cared. It was like she needed to save herself. Like everything in this movie was like the worst parts of women. Like they're awful people.
But it was the best parts of men. Let me tell you.
It was. She accidentally wrote a base character.
She did.
That's what Greta Gerwig did. She was so like, I'm going to
Probably
write a
her
really.
cat-
She really tried to make men nasty, and she was like, "What's the most toxic thing I could think of about men?" And then she wrote the most base thing we all enjoy. We're like, "Oh hell yeah!" Like pull-up bars in the door and brewski beers.
Yeah.
Wearing sunglasses on top of sunglasses. This is all fucking cool.
And horses and the
everyone is
Godfather.
happy as
Why
well.
were
because,
there
like,
horses
everyone's happy.
everywhere?
Yeah, and
everyone's
everybody.
happy in that part of the film. Everyone is
Exactly.
happy. The Barbies were previously the matriarchs and the Kens were second-class citizens, and under the patriarchy, everyone is equal. Everyone is happy. Everyone does what they want to do. And the evil
Right.
feminist Barbies treat happiness as a disease. And they say that happiness is like smallpox. So we have to get rid of happiness and brainwash them out of their contentedness with the patriarchy to reestablish the situation we found ourselves in at the beginning of the film, which is just insane. Like,
I mean, it's like
this is why one of the many reasons like so many people came out and said, "Oh no, this is a satire of lefty beliefs." It's not a satire.
No.
You just read the damn interview. It takes 5 minutes. Google what Greta Gerwig was saying. She's not being satirical, deliberately satirical. It might read that way, but this is a sincere attempt to actually pass a kind of feminist
it's not
belief. It's-
satire.
Whatever
I mean,
comes off as satire from Greta Gerwig is accidental. I really think and I don't want to talk too much about other movies, but she did this before with Lady Bird, where she accidentally made a based movie called Lady Bird, which was one of her directorial debut.
It's all
Where-
the Catholic guilt.
It is very much
But
Catholic
like,
guilt.
Lady Bird's
Yes.
a much stronger film, and the
Yeah,
strongest
it's
bits
way
of
better.
Barbie
It
are
is.
just doing Lady Bird again. The mother-daughter subplot is just Lady Bird. That's the same thing. And that's
Agreed.
the strongest part of Barbie, that relationship. When it's there, until they decide they will do away with it in the space of 90 seconds, that's a good part of the film. But that's because she's done it before and she's on familiar ground. But if the film had carried on like that, it might have been fairly nice overall. It's just that, you can't be allowed to be happy in this world.
Yeah.
I'm so curious about like there were some weird things in this movie. Okay. First off, why is the first thing that Barbie says and can say to people in the real world is I don't have a penis and I don't have a vagina. And the last thing she says is I'm going to the gynecologist appointment.
Well, I put the gynecologist appointment as
I'm like-
she chose to be a human, but she choosing motherhood because of that whole motherhood dynamic
That's
with
so
Ruth. And so she's
weird.
got to go check the engine to make sure the car's running all right so she can have a kid. That's how I interpreted
I don't
it.
think that's
That's how I interpreted it.
Weird. I know
Yeah.
it's that weird stuff with
Go
like
for
they
it,
talk
Max.
about, and then in the song, like Ken is singing about he's always going to be a virgin or something, and I'm like, who is the audience of this film? Like, it's kind of marketed to
Virgin. No,
kids, and like, how do like
the
people
line
that are
is
supposed to be toys or something?
the line is blonde fragility, not virginity. It's
Yeah.
fragility.
Oh,
Oh, virginity?
fragility. Okay, I was
Yeah.
mishearing
Look.
that. That was B word.
No, listen.
we-
Let's be clear. Ken
are we-
bangs. All right. Let's be clear.
Are we getting into like the structure and the plot of the movie and stuff?
Let's
I guess-
do that, Lofty. What do you have to say about Barbie?
Well, the gynecologist thing is just very simple. She's turning into a real. It's Pinocchio. It's the Pinocchio sort of parallel where she's becoming a real woman. So she gets a vagina. So she has to check her fucking vagina. Why is that not based? Like, okay,
It's just
like,
so
but
weird.
women
It's
have
like
vaginas.
the first thing you
moving
do
on,
in the real
moving on.
world is like go to the gynecologist.
Like, it's not that I'm saying it's based as in like she's making a point about like, but she's just making a standard take on femininity, which to me is like not offensive at all.
Yeah, but
No, it's not offensive. But the problem with that is the whole film until this point has gone around trying to deny that, for example, socialization has any role in the upbringing of children. It's very, very clear that there is no one prescribed way to be a human being. That's the one half of the underlying theme of the film.
Sure.
And so when you actually get to the moment of resolution, which is when she says that I don't know what to be anymore, I don't feel I have an ending, it turns out the film has nothing more to say than, well, you've got a vagina now. Oh, good. That's really fantastic. Way for a good character arc there.
But the thing is that they never stipulated through the first two acts that going to the real world means you get these body parts. So even with that ending alone, it's confusing to a lot of people because it's like, wait, why would she go to the gynecologist? She doesn't have a vagina.
Well, this movie is for women. It's not really for men. So like, I know a lot of women who like this movie. I talked to.
I think I'm a woman.
You know what? I'm not Knuff. I'm not Knuff for the movie.
What
You're
is a
connected.
woman, Lofty?
But I've talked to a lot of women who like that the ending to this movie, and it's just more of like it's sort of like an affirmation of like some of their issues that they have to deal with, and it's just like it's very feminine. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I hear from other women talking about the movie.
You know, I think that's one of the many reasons it was so popular. Like the reason it made $1 billion is it understood its target audience and it didn't try to do anything that pushed any boundaries. It just told them everything they've been having drummed into their heads for the better part of 20 years. And that's one of the reasons it did so well in the box office. But I think it's probably also one of the reasons it's not really going to be talked about after this year. It's not going to leave any meaningful, lasting impact, except that everyone went to see it, kind of like Avatar in that respect, because it doesn't do anything. It's just like we're giving the audience the safest possible set of things we can give them.
And I also think that the screenplay and the structure of the story is it's too contradictory to begin with.
Go Vex, just say it.
Yeah, Vex, just jump in.
Okay, just on the gynecologist point, it's not a Pinocchio thing whatsoever, and it's not a motherhood thing because
it is.
Hold on, let me explain myself. As a woman with an actual vagina.
God! Oh, here we go.
Ken's back up.
Oh wow! Just talk down to all of us.
Vaginated person.
I guess I got
Vaginated person.
The entire movie, you see Barbie acting and being totally okay with being a tease for every male that shows up, more or less, right? And then the entire plot with America Ferrera and her daughter is basically anti-motherhood. Because America Ferrera's entire arc is that she had a kid and then she became fucking miserable. So she started playing with Barbie dolls because that was the last time she could remember being happy. So Barbie going to the gynecologist at the end, more or less, is more symbolic of the fact that she's not using that vagina to have a kid or anything. She's getting ready to get trained.
See, I'm going to slightly row back because I have some nice things to say about this film. It doesn't happen often, but I have some. One of which is that the mother-daughter arc in the film, which I've heard the take that it's anti-motherhood, and I don't really agree with that. They start off as very separate. The closest thing the film really has to a character arc is them coming together. It's the mother, really, as much as anything, actually, it's the daughter realizing that the mother is fundamentally good people. And valuable. And unfortunately, the film has to do that by effectively taking all character away from the daughter. So she just stops objecting to things she was previously objecting to. But it is a really aborted attempt to get a parental relationship which resolves in a positive way. So it's not I wouldn't say explicitly anti-motherhood in that respect.
If I may, they don't really resolve anything by the end of the movie, though, at all. The daughter's still a little cunt about everything. The mother is just like, oh, I get a new outfit, so everything is okay now. But they don't actually address fundamentally why they drifted apart or why they have such a tense relationship. There is no resolution.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, no, but I think they were aiming for resolution. That's so like. There's a difference between it not trying to go for resolution, in which case you could say, yeah, it's anti-motherhood, and it doing a resolution badly, which I think is what it did. Nevertheless, the intent was to try, because it is, again, it's Lady Bird condensed. The intent was to try and give common ground between daughters and mothers. The whole film is a motherhood anxiety parody, or parable, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with somebody interpreting the movie the way you do, Vex. I just, I don't think that's... It's like somebody interpreting The Matrix as a trans allegory, and it's just like, if you do what you want to do, that's fine, but I'm not going to interpret it that way, and I don't think that I have to. And it's like,
I just don't understand where the Pinocchio part. Like, I can understand why. Hold on, I can understand why you're saying that, but it doesn't make any sense because Barbie wanting to become real doesn't really hit the character until she goes through that glowing room with Gloria Estefan or whatever her name is. So. I don't.
Right.
I don't and just throwing in the gynecological visit too feels like a massive slap in the face because it's saying that, oh, in order to be a real woman, you just need to have a vagina. It totally ignores or skates over the billions of other things that are amazing about being a woman. So and the scene also just made no sense because there was really nothing referenced like in a super sexual nature as well throughout the entire film.
To be fair, prior to that, you know, the amazing things about being a woman, they did this whole, whether you agree with it or not, they did this whole America Ferrera speech about
that was so cringe.
That's not the amazing things. That's how difficult and impossible it is to
bring women trying to do the thing that they
right.
Wanted to do.
But I'm saying it highlights some of the unique ways that women have to, like, you know, navigate their gender in society. And whether you know, maybe you thought it was like not propping up it was sort of reveling in its own like misery a little bit, but it was still establishing like a feminist sort of perspective. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying.
Like, it doesn't that speech is also a slap in the face of women because instead of just being like, there's ways that we can grow and improve and deal with the world, it's like, let me just place the blame on everything else, and it's the world's problem why I feel this way. It's the entire speech is just trying to justify not taking accountability for your actions. Like, to say that speech says anything good about women, bro, I'm wondering what fucking movie were you watching? There was like nothing positive about women said in that 2.5 minute speech whatsoever. It made me actually hate America Ferrera because now everything I see her in, I'm just like, God, you're such a dumb uppity cunt in real life, aren't you? I
just couldn't stand how they did that too. It's like I felt like the movie was just like the end result of third wave feminism. It's like whatever we're dealing with now. It's like these women have these horrible lives and you really can't even blame. It's like it's their own fault. It's like I thought that, hey, maybe this would be like something like, you know, gender complementarianism, like in Wheel of Time, like the books where you have to like where men and women are like separated and they have to figure out how to work together. But there was like nothing. It's like Barbie doesn't even think the kids are human. It's like, Jesus, like shut up. There's so much anger.
I think that speech was so visceral and intense that a lot of people just kind of, you know, shied away from it and like didn't really quite engage with the entire speech. I mean, here's a direct quote from the speech. You have to be thin, but not too thin. Okay, that's part of the speech. What's wrong with acknowledging that women have a hard time with body positivity imagery, where they get shit from both the left and the right and both sides for being fat or being too skinny or being like, if you lose weight, then suddenly that's a problem because you're not like a role model anymore for fat people. Like, it's definitely 100% a major problem for women in society. Like, time out.
Yeah. But that's on women. That's on women themselves. That's not on the society because wait. Because with us, it's like if you don't have rippling abs and abs on top of abs, and your biceps have biceps, then you're not really peak man either.
Nah.
Yeah.
Not really true. Men don't give a fuck.
Bro, do not pull a Billie
I'm,
Eilish right now.
I'm
Please
gonna
don't do
disagree
this.
with you. Men, I'm not saying men don't have body issues or.
Well, wait a minute. Now, see, I didn't get to finish, which is, but us men, we don't look at that and go, well, shit, like I'll never achieve that. We look at that as men and we go, that is something to aspire to. That is the pinnacle that I should get to. Of course, you need a little bit of roids, but at the same time, but at the same time, that is something that we look at and we go, dude, I need to hit the gym. Dude, I need to do this. I need to stop eating. I need to stop doing that. It's totally motivation.
There's little other aspects of that, which is that when, like, as you were saying, like when men do that, it tends to be like you can rib each other about it, but it tends to be more supportive.
Mm-hmm.
When women do it, like the problem with that speech, and like I absolutely paid attention to that speech because I went through it point by point in this half an hour in my video, which is dedicated to point by point rebutting that speech. Many of the problems she's complaining about are not problems with society generally attacking women or men attacking women. It's women attacking women.
Yes.
I don't particularly need to be hearing about this because it's not directed at me. If you're having these issues, directed at the sisterhood. But the better thing to do is if you yourself are conflating being thin with being healthy is, stop drinking red wine every night, stop watching Bridgerton, and go to the fucking gym and fix the problem.
But you're right, because the worst enemy of a woman is women. We tend to be the hardest critic for each other. Like we tend to not be unified together. We criticize each other, we judge each other, and then we're envious of each other in some ways.
I'm going to also say the whole body issue thing about women it's not an issue anymore because more often than not, men are just like, you're like, we're attracted to you the way that you are. You don't have to look like fucking Angelina Jolie, but it's women that make fun of other women like this.
Mm-hmm.
If I make an argument on Twitter, for example, and say my picture is maybe I'm wearing something with a little bit of cleavage, immediately the reaction from another woman is going to be, oh, why shouldn't you be on OnlyFans instead? Kind of deal, but I don't get that from men at all, regardless of what I'm wearing or doing. So the body weight thing as like an issue that women have to suffer through in society, we put that on ourselves. No one else. Men don't do that like whatsoever anymore.
They do though. Men have body standards.
Really don't.
Men
really don't.
Especially now with the red pill movement or whatever. Men have very high body standards, and they actually fucking bully women who considered, like, have you ever seen the clip of the fat whale on whatever podcast call herself?
That's whatever podcast.
She's like, I'm just
not the general.
Why can't I make fun of a fat girl?
No. What I'm giving an example, right? Where she calls her, she says, or rate yourself out of 1 to 10, and she calls herself an 8, and she looks like literally like a gremlin, and they all laugh at her and shit, like, millions of men all over the world are laughing at that girl. They're just like, you're not a fucking 8, you fucking piece of shit. Like, you know what I mean? It's not just women; it's definitely society.
But the thing is that if Patton Oswalt tried to rate himself an 8, we would still laugh.
Yeah, I would laugh too. Well, Patton Oswalt.
All I have to say is I don't ever remember seeing body positivity like Barbie ever on the shelf. Like,
no, the problem is this is the problem with Greta Gerwig, and not necessarily that speech or whatever. The speech is a little over, heavy-handed, but the problem is this movie is framed in a way it's men versus women. It's like, and it's her fault for like framing it that way, because then when the speech happens, it's in your mind, in the back of your mind, you're like, oh, this speech is about men versus women, when in reality this not really the case.
So the line, you're supposed to stay pretty for men, but not so pretty that you tempt them too much or that you threaten other women because you're supposed to be part of the sisterhood, is not to do with men. That
deals with men and women, doesn't it? I mean, women try to bring down other women for not adhering to like the beauty standards, just like we said.
At what point in time do you have to listen to something like that and just think maybe the best thing you could do is just walk away or tell these people to shut the fuck up?
The lines just jump out. You have to answer for men's bad behavior, which is insane. But if you point that out, you're accused of complaining.
And that's true. That's
it takes a couple of shots at women as well, but I think the framing that there's a reason the majority of people I think who heard that speech came away thinking A, this is an insufferable woman, and B, that she's principally targeting men, is that principally she is, and that's largely to do with the speech itself and the content of the speech, but it's also the context in which the speech has been made, given that it's just followed a situation where the Barbies have gone around trying to destroy an evil patriarchy for the crime of making people happy.
Yes, and there's.
I couldn't believe that she gave that speech too, and was like, "Oh, if women want to be mothers, they can." And I'm like, "So what?" So all of these women, they were all just brainwashed by the Kens. Like none of them made a free choice. Like, and the framing of all that was so weird. It's like none of the Kens were going out there doing like things in like an aggressive way or something like that. Like. They're like, oh, let me show you how to do this thing, because they had gone out and experienced the world, so they knew stuff and they could give them information.
Yeah.
Like that was the context I got. So it was like, okay, they went out in the real world. You read about trucks or read about like whatever. And it's like they're telling the Barbies, oh, sharing their knowledge. Like they didn't frame that very well.
I'm trying to find this clip. Greta responding to.
It's like the She-Hulk speech. Same idea. They stole from the She-Hulk speech to have you not associate with that character whatsoever.
No. It's a little bit different. The She-Hulk speech is.
You don't understand what it's like to be a woman. I dealt with way more than you.
Yeah, but she's screaming it right in his face, and it's just so much more. It's so
more
much
personal. It's definitely a much more also it's against like the one character against whom that speech really cannot be made. I know how to control my anger because I do it infinitely more than you, she says to the Incredible Hulk. Yeah, well done.
The guy who attempted suicide.
That's crazy. Anyway, yeah, that's so much. She-Hulk is an awful show, but no, I understand the inconsistencies in this movie. I pointed out. It's totally, especially in the latter half, it goes back and forth between like what it thinks it wants to be and like what it's trying. It's just it's sort of nonsensical. I totally agree. I agree with that. That's it's not the now. What do you guys think of the first half? Do you enjoy the setup and world building sort of like this Barbie kind of concept? Are you saying that the movie just like didn't stick the landing, or like what do you think about that? Because I liked a lot of the setup, the Barbie Land stuff, the production design, the references to Oklahoma
I love the
and
costumes on it. They were really
cool.
I would
the fake
Grease,
drinking food and stuff reminds me of playing with Barbies as a kid. Yeah,
the first act of the film was really good. I thought like in the first 5 minutes it was a little bit heavy on like the feminist messaging and some of like the flashbacks or the flashes to all the things that happened in Barbie Land. But the first act was pretty well done. It's just the biggest problem with this movie is it doesn't know what it wants to be. It doesn't know if it wants to be a commentary on the issues women are going through. It doesn't know if it wants to be a feminist film. It doesn't know if it wants to be satire. There's too much going on, and Greta Gerwig can't seem to sort out her own ideas. And the only thing that she does manage to get right unintentionally is Ken, and it's perfect satire what she does with him. But that's it. That's the only thing she really nails. In
and that's the only thing that was accidental. Well, not the only thing that was accidental, but that was accidental.
Yeah, the first 10 minutes of the film are strong enough. Like the production design is wonderful. And I have very few bad things to say about that. The acting generally is solid. And when they introduce the world in the first place, you can tell that this is a person in Greta Gerwig who knows what she's doing on a technical level. Like she's introduced it like beguilingly. It's entertaining. It's quite funny in places. It looks wonderful. And they start setting up potentially interesting things like the idea that Barbies are being played with by girls in the real world, for example, and Weird Barbie is Weird Barbie because a girl played with her too hard. And then you get to the Matrix analogy. And up until that point, I'm saying that's pretty interesting. I like that. It's a good creative way of marrying what is effectively just a big product advertisement to potentially an interesting film and a world building and a plot and a character level. The problem is, as soon as you get to that point, the film then just discards everything it was doing in terms of world building, a lot of what it was doing in terms of character. And then once they move to the real world section, when they decide that for some reason 2023 Los Angeles is the same sociopolitically as 1973 Los Angeles, That's the point at which it ceases to cohere completely. They ditch the idea that all the Barbies are being played with by girls. They ditch the idea that there's a semi-divide between the two realms. They ditch the idea that when they come back to Barbie World, that there was ever anything to do with girls playing with these toys, because at that point everyone has agency. Like, none of it actually makes any sense as a film. It just doesn't cohere at all. It's entirely a theme production. Plot doesn't really exist. World building doesn't really happen. Character occasionally happens, but most of it's aborted. Everything about the film from that point onwards, as soon as they go to the real world, is just theme. And that's interesting. It's just that it's also incredibly hypocritical. And I also like to have more than just theme in a film.
It's a little bit of a mess.
It is a mess. What's interesting is they had that 2001 prologue in the beginning, and they could have used that as a perfect setup in parallel to what was going to happen in the movie because they could. What happened was Barbie became a very contradictory character, because what they tried to do is set up Barbie as a hero, but what she does is that she goes to the real world and learns about very different facets of the real world, and what she's supposed to do is to bring it back to Barbie Land to make Barbie Land better. But that's the part of the hero's journey. But what she doesn't do is, when she comes back to Barbie Land, what she does is she makes sure it goes back to Barbie Land. Everybody goes back to being their idiotic selves. She doesn't share it or impart the knowledge that she's learned, or become the monolith, like in 2001, where it imparts the knowledge to the apes. And she leaves and goes back to the real world, leaving these dumb toys to be amongst themselves once again.
Well, she's not the monolith. The Barbie doll is the monolith. It's the.
But she is the Barbie doll.
Yeah, but her journey, it follows the journey of Bowman, essentially, kind of thematically, appropriately throughout the whole movie, especially the ending with the rebirth. I mean, there's a lot of references to 2001. It's thematically, I think Platoon said this even just a minute ago. Thematically, the movie kind of has a certain vibe to it that's cool, but they have the structure of the movie all fucked up. Does that make sense?
Well, I think thematically, it's contradictory all over the place. You have America Ferrera's daughter. She accuses Barbie as being a symbol of sexualization of women, a symbol of consumerism, a symbol of fascism.
Yep.
But as soon as she finds out that Barbie Land was a complete matriarchy before the Kens took it over, then magically she has no more criticisms for Barbie and wants to help Barbie reestablish the status quo, which is exactly what she was criticizing to begin with. And it's
that's a terrible part of the movie.
Well, I'm just saying there's contradictions like that throughout the entire film. There's themes and motifs that just completely cancel each other out, to the point where you don't know what this movie is trying to say, so much as it's feminist trash.
Hey, Copa, I noticed something really funny, and I know that you live down in Long Beach. And did you notice how when they started the car chase at Mattel, they were like in downtown Beverly Hills, and then when she slammed on her brakes, she was in that part like where the freeways end up at Long Beach.
Yeah.
That was funny.
It's always funny to me in like movie land when certain movies are like on the Vincent Thomas Bridge, and then all of a sudden they're in the middle of Santa Monica or whatever. You're like, dude, that's like 300. That's like 20 miles away. Like, how'd you make it there?
Yeah. Like, how do you get there? Like 2
seconds? Like that doesn't. No, but you have to. You have to take that out.
You're right. And look, this is not even a debate, because people are like, oh, it's a debate. It's not really, because I don't even really love the movie. I think it's like a 6 or 7 out of 10.
It's a 10 out of 10. What are you doing?
For me,
out of 10. Yeah.
Lofty's ditching all of you Barbie lovers.
I know.
Right.
Jesus, Lofty.
I'm the new Lofty. All right.
Mascot.
Someone get me animated.
It would be a 10 out of 10 if Ken. Now, let me just say this.
Lofty, are you scared?
The worst part. Yeah, I'm terrified.
Because what happened last time? Now you want to soften your stance a little bit.
I've said that. I've had the same take forever. The worst part of the movie is what they did to Ken, and that's why the movie kind of shitty, because they fucked him over. Here's the biggest contradiction of the movie. Ken has this arc that you could say like his Kenergy, his Kendom, or whatever, is like based and funny and awesome. On the surface. In reality, it's like, we're a little bit more than smoking cigars and like having brewskis. Like, come on. But it's cool to have that little moment because it's like a little affirmative for guys and like the bros in the audience. But they had the opportunity to give him agency after that of sort of discovering himself as like a person. And you know what they did? After this epic song, I love this song, by the way. I'm Just Ken. It has this whole like self-discovery vibe to it. And then right after that, he goes back to being a cuck and he tries to fucking kiss Barbie. And she's the one who has to explain to him that he's more than his accessories or whatever the fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they take his agency away, and they it, like, it hits a brick wall. His entire fucking arc. You know what I'm talking about? Platoon. You seem like you agree. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I do absolutely, because like that's the film's attempt to push the line, which you often hear as a kind of big, it's an olive branch when they say that the patriarchy is also bad for men, and that's kind of what that's doing. So you have there's two principal 2001 references in the film. You have the original one right at the beginning when that's clearly supposed to be satirizing Mattel's attitude towards representation in Barbies. You have the second one though, which is when Ken is in the real world and he's going around looking at how awesome it is for men, and thus spoke Zarathustra plays again. If you're familiar with 2001, the whole point of that scene is that it's setting up that the essence of humanity is effectively violence. It's the first time apes learn to use weapons. So that reference when Ken is looking around at patriarchy is the film saying the essence of man is patriarchy. And at the end, because the film is trying to say, and Greta Gerwig has said this many times in interviews, that she thinks that all prescriptive systems are essentially bad things. She's trying to have the case that no, patriarchy is bad for men. Men need to transcend their usual wants of status, of aspiration, of possession, and all the rest of that. But she has to give that lesson because he can't possibly recognize it for himself. And the film doesn't give him enough time to demonstrate it after the fact either.
If that's what Greta Gerwig said, she missed a huge opportunity. And they came in with me noticing that, like, okay, I remember the Barbies. They had different names. There were certain Barbies and stuff, but they're like a collective hive. It's like the Borg or something like that. So naturally, when I was thinking about how they could improve this, is like they go to the real world and they realize that they're individuals, and maybe the thing that they take back to Barbie Land is that they're each individual people or something like that. But they're just kind of the collective Ken. It's like that's like this weird.
And like I said, like the patriarchy. If I think women should be allowed to vote, and like all this shit. Like I'm a
God, Lofty. Oh my God, dude.
That's so cringe.
What is
Lofty.
The point is, like, this movie is doing the thing where it's like it's what's the word for it? But it's like I don't think it's attacking like men more so, like in today's society, more so than the idea of the patriarchy. And it's like, yeah, we can get beyond, but they didn't do but the problem is they didn't do the same thing with the matriarchy. It's like, yeah, we should be attacking the concept of like gendered biases or like sort of elitist biases in general, but that's not what they did.
And that's and that's exactly the point I was making with the 2001 with the preface, with the prologue. In the epilogue, they could have had her bring back her knowledge and impart onto them the next evolutionary stage of the toys, which is sentience, or maybe the knowledge of death, or whatever she learns from the real world before she takes off again. But she doesn't do that at all.
She's the gynecologist.
Yeah, she goes to the gynecologist. See, and that's the thing too, is that one of the central core tenements and themes to this movie is selfishness. Like she is actually the villain of the piece throughout the movie. It's really Ken who comes back from his journey and imparts his knowledge to everybody on how much how much better life could be.
They found the Godfather.
Yeah, but
right. And horses
and trucks.
Trucks.
I saw
dojos.
And brewski beers.
You watched that clip of like Steven Seagal or some actor or something. Who was it? I forget who it was. It was some actor.
Hold on a second, Lofty. Yeah, there's so much Lofty love in the chat. I want to get to some of it before we lose these people. So Zombie Box Reviews wants to give you $2 or £2, sorry, so you can buy some tampons.
I love you too. I love you too.
Movie Cynic, here to watch Lofty get wrecked. So
I'm not gonna die.
well, only one new video editor, one covered carriage, and one donkey. I think that's a fair deal. Thank you, Movie Cynic, and Tatsu Sama.
Lofty can't die.
No,
5 memberships. Thank you, and enjoy yourself, and $2 to laugh at Lofty. Thank you so much. I'm gonna play this.
At first, I thought the real world was run by men. And then there was a minute where I thought it was run by horses. But then I realized that horses are just men extenders.
So
Fuck
funny.
yeah. Fuck yes.
So good. Oh my god.
He is absolutely the best part of the entire movie.
Yes,
If you can
100%.
Correct.
if you
He's
can
amazing.
just cut all the Ken stuff and package that up, I'd watch it all day.
40-minute cut. of
Just
the
yeah,
movie.
just 40 minutes of Ken straight up. I'd watch it all day.
He literally
Yeah.
goes
Clips
into
for
the
this-
real
for this
world and
stream.
chooses horses as his main personality trait.
I think that's so funny.
all
There's,
Ken clips. I
horse
couldn't make a
Mount
Barbie clip.
Rushmore. Oh my god. Yeah.
Barbie's not
Nothing
funny.
Fun. There's
Yeah,
nothing
Barbie's
fun
not
about
funny.
Barbie
Hey,
in this
listen,
movie or any
listen,
of them
fellas,
whatsoever.
She
fellas,
doesn't
we
have
can
any
agree.
character. That's
No.
why. That's why you can beam Ken to hell, but you can't do anything. She has no character.
Listen, and also women aren't funny.
Yeah, true.
What? Eject him now.
Everyone wants
Anything.
Lofty ejected too already.
Not Lofty. Andrew, out. You're done.
Oh.
All right, Lofty, let's go. Let's hit
What are we
it.
fighting? Are we fighting? Are we beaching?
No,
off?
we're leaving.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'd rather beat you off. That's okay.
What?
I'd rather beat you off. But
I mean, I hear everybody's points. I understand where everybody's coming from.
What?
And I.
no, it's
What?
complicated. It's hard.
What's going on?
Just stayed over that.
We're just going to skate over that little piece of dialogue Lofty just dropped.
I didn't hear it.
I don't like
Yeah.
to beat you off.
Apparently, he's going to be
Oh,
beating
good
off
stuff.
Andrew.
Oh. Maybe
Andrew,
that's why.
Andrew has a moustache. We all knew that was happening already. So
Hello,
Sure.
beach. Let's go to the beach, guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
what I
beach.
meant.
Oh, beach. Oh, beach.
Your
Yeah.
T's
Fine.
were not pronounced.
Learn English. That's the first rule of the patriarchy.
I really
I had to
heard
read.
beat. I heard beat.
I lost it too.
But
Okay.
I, will beat,
Uh,
I would beat you off as well.
yeah, I'll beat each other.
Somebody
off.
roll back the tape.
No, guys. Look,
while like, away from beaching each other off, even
Yes.
Nadia, I think you were saying
go ahead, Nadia.
something.
Yeah. I don't even know. I was saying I see everyone's points. I understand where everyone is coming from. I also, for some reason, I think this movie is just way too polarized because we live in a day and age where people are always looking for something like this in movies lately, where I feel like it's a movie you could go and just turn your brain off and just enjoy it. It's a popcorn flick.
I think
I
I agree
don't-
with you. I
This
agree
is
with
a
you.
very.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
sorry.
I agree with you on some. I'm sorry if I'm cutting you off, but
Way to silence the women's voices, Copa.
Patriarchy, boys. You gotta cut the women off before they go.
well,
too
I
long.
mean, they talk so much, dude. But
I'm joking. Go ahead.
I'm not. But so, but I agree with you on some level that yes, we live in a day and age where we are looking for something, right? And we're looking for that message to really irritate us. It gives us something to talk about. But at the same time, I really think that Barbie was like objectively trying to do that.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. No, I agree, but I feel that it's the negativity of it for whatever is the biggest portion of it when there are small details that are enjoyable about the film and
Not
art is
just
subjective.
small, pretty big.
Yeah, art is subjective, right? And I
Mhm.
feel that anybody that enjoys these movies, or it's like myself, there shouldn't be a judgment because I think I got called a Brie Larson feminist after I said I enjoyed this movie, which I am
Oh my God,
the
that's
farthest person
Okay.
from a feminist. And I was like, that's a little harsh
you know-
for
no, you
just
know what
saying
that
I
is?
like the movie.
Nadia, that's called critical woke theory. It's these people who watch these movies with goggles that think everything, all you can do is watch it through the woke lens and not, you can't just fucking enjoy something for like its aesthetic or its entertainment value. It's embarrassing. And you know, there's too many
Yeah,
people. That,
you can definitely go way too far the other way. I think was it Ben Shapiro who was
Yeah.
talking about the beginning scene being a metaphor for abortion. It's like, no, it isn't. It's really not.
Ben.
Have you watched the
No,
I
film?
actually
Ben
Like,
Shapiro, the
oh.
failed
Did he
screenwriter.
say that?
I know.
Let's
The,
listen
the,
I
to
actually
the
liked.
film is confused on motherhood. The film is not anti-motherhood.
When
So
I-
there's that important point. But I mean, I agree with you that there are plenty of things to like about the film, and like, I think some of them we've listed already. I think the production design is wonderful. The acting is great. There are some funny moments in the film. The problem is a lot of that stuff is just on the superficial level, and it's not so much with Barbie that we're looking for things to be offended by. It's that Barbie, when it gets to the second half in particular, Barbie is quite overtly a propagandistic film. It's not really ambiguous on that point. It does try and stake out a message. And that message is, to a large part of the audience, objectionable for various reasons, some of which are right. My frustration with Barbie, because I don't hate the film, I think there's a lot of merit to the film. My frustration with Barbie is that it ditches the really interesting and good stuff, which is largely the first 10 minutes, and it lapses into an overt message theme film. And I think that it could have been so much better had it not tried to marry the feminist side with the humanist side, because the humanist message is by far the most interesting part of the film.
Platoon,
And that's the
know
part
what
I
you-
enjoy the most out of it. That's why I can, in a sense, maybe overlook the other part, because I enjoy so much of that and I have a connection with that I can enjoy this movie and give it like a 6 or 7 out of 10. Again, it's not my movie of the year, but I would say it's one of the movies I enjoyed this year out of everything I've seen in theaters.
And the comedy's throughout the whole movie too. Like, this is funny, even towards the end. But it's not just the first 10 minutes though. I mean, I actually like the idea of I don't know if whoever's seen the movie Wings of Desire. It's a German film from the 80s. But there's this angel. Actually, it was remade. I think it was remade.
It was remade to City of Angels.
City of Angels, but yeah,
With Nick Cage,
it's this German film with Bruno Ganz. He is this angel in heaven, falls in love with a human trapeze artist. It's a fucking beautiful movie. It's she took a lot of references from this movie in Barbie, but the concept, the idea of like sort of this like Barbie being sort of like this angelic kind of character from another world, kind of bringing herself down to the human level as a theme throughout the entire movie. I actually think that's even a positive benefit of the movie. Even like towards the end of the movie, that to me is cool. It's just it just had so many inconsistencies with other ham-fisted political messaging and stuff. Like, you could say that it took away from some of it. It's not just the production design that I think is like I said, I think it's that whole thematic kind of element to it that the movie is very interesting. I loved the ending when she became a human and there was like that white kind of ethereal space of her like becoming a human. And
that was like the culmination for like a different film though. That was the annoying thing about it. That was if you'd skipped from 10 minutes on to the end of the film, then it follows through. The problem is that they go through all of this plot when they're trying to save Barbie Land as kind of like your sum and bottom, your ultimate good of the thing. And then Barbie says, I don't feel like I have an ending anymore. And Ruth Handler's character says, well, that was always the point of Barbie. And then she takes her out of Barbie world, even though the point of Barbie is that Barbie never had an ending, so she fits there. And even though the whole film was about saving it in order to be a human in the real world, which hasn't been fleshed. It's like, it doesn't, and say again, it doesn't cohere, but there are good individual constituent elements to it.
Yeah.
Also, I have a sneaky and shameful liking for that Billie Eilish song. It's a good song.
Oh, I love it. Listen,
Oh, yeah.
I love the Billie Eilish song. I think it's really good.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it's a better movie than the movie.
Again,
have you seen the music video for it? It's good.
It's great.
I think it's a better movie.
But again, throughout the movie has fantastic production design. I thought the whole Ken chapter was very reminiscent of like Grease or what's that other fucking movie? Well, The Red Shoes. There's another one that's they borrowed heavily from that dance sequence, but that whole part was awesome. Like, was it
The
Oklahoma or no, when they're dancing in like that
yes.
white kind of room or whatever, like that like
the
with,
blue and pink
Simu
room.
Liu.
Yeah.
Except Simu Liu can't dance to save his life, but yeah.
True.
And
Or
I
act.
don't know who
He's my
needs to hear
biggest
this.
criticism
Ryan
of the movie.
Gosling cannot sing like at all.
What?
What?
Hello?
What?
Oh, Singing in the Rain. That's the one I'm
Weird.
talking
Oh,
Yeah,
he's
like,
better than
what?
Simu Liu, who's
Yeah.
unemployed forever.
That is the lowest of possible bars to clear. You're better than Hulu. Well done.
Just
No,
I didn't
the first
understand the
part's 4
purpose of
minutes.
Hulu.
The song is 4 minutes, but the whole Kendom part is like 15 minutes of the movie.
Oh yeah,
you know,
it's
when
all
he's
just so funny.
I like that whole part. It's awesome. But like I said, they set up this whole Ken arc, and like it might even be 20 minutes of the movie. I don't know, but it's like they set it up so well, and then they just failed to like
I
pay
know.
off.
It's
and they
like you
turned it
think
back
that
into a
like
cup.
the natural extension of that is that the Kens want freedom to just be left alone. And it's like, why is it that emphasized? It's not that they hate Barbie, it's that they hate being like stuck in this weird, like almost like
Second
abusive,
When he says,
like
when Ken
cycle
says,
of like they can't, it's like whatever their universe is, they can't do anything, they can't feel good until Barbie acknowledges them, or
Mhm.
one of the Barbies. Like, I hate saying Barbie
But
as a
isn't that a
character
human
because
characteristic?
technically it's a collective, so how's the word?
I think honestly that was a poor take in trying to say Kens are how, and I'm not saying this is how women feel, but from her perspective, Kens are representative like how women feel, right? As second citizens in society, you know, not able to have their own stuff and
right, he even says
accomplish
that.
things. Yeah.
He's like, how does it make you feel, or whatever? Like, you were treating me like this, and now I'm treating you the same way. How does it make you feel? And you could tell he actually feels bad about it, even though she didn't in the beginning.
The film really kind of undermines itself with that point as well, in part because it has to bend reality to stress that point, and that is definitely the point it's trying to make, is that the Kens are effectively the women of the real world. The problem is, you know, when you start saying, well, the Mattel board is all men, when in reality it's 50-50 split, and
Yeah,
LA in
we looked it up.
2023
There's
is just
11
as
board
sexist
members
as
and like
yeah.
5 are female.
I never
and then right
I
at the
didn't-
end, they say, well, the Kens say, well, can we have maybe, you know, like one Supreme Court seat? And they say,
Yeah,
no,
they say no,
no,
and
no,
it's
no.
like
You have
maybe
to
a little
earn your
bit.
way up. Now, that's an interesting, for a film which is nominally taking a sort of egalitarian feminist perspective. If you're telling the audience that you have to earn your position in equality, I don't think that that's a line that the film really wants you to take away, but it nevertheless would suggest, yeah, equality is not something you're owed. You have to earn it. But that kind of means that the whole basket case of equality goes out the window at that point.
Yeah. That was
I
bad.
Basically, men messed up when we let you vote.
true.
I'm not saying you're right, but I'm not saying you're wrong either. I go back
True
and
and
forth
real.
about the fact that should women vote? Shouldn't women vote?
Look, I'm just
Oh,
saying,
God.
thank your nearest man for letting that happen.
There was a comment in my Marvels video saying, like, now we're finally starting to see why we used to oppress women.
That was a banger line. I remember.
That's
that.
a good line.
Banger.
Honestly, we ruined it for ourselves. Hey, listen, have your career and stuff, but believe me, I would love to be able to where my house can be a single income household and I just stay home and take care of it. This whole 2 household income to survive, no thank you, I'm out.
That's the feminine, the woke part of this movie is not, it got a miss. Oh my god, this movie was so complicated when it was like just coming out and people were trying to like give their takes on it. People were saying stuff like, oh, there's a bunch of women in positions of power in the first 20 minutes of Barbie, therefore it's woke. No. That's not the woke part. The woke part is the ending of the movie when they establish that like when they take over, they return the matriarchy, and then they're just like they subjugate the men. That's like the woke part of the movie. The beginning is always, Barbie has always had every job under the sun. Barbie's been an astronaut. Barbie's been president. This is just, it's establishing the universe of Barbie the way it's always been. It's not woke to have like a president, Senate, Barbie in Barbie land. That's just, it's Barbie land. Like it makes
That's
sense
true.
to me.
As plain as a kid, you don't focus on Ken. I mean, I think I had maybe one Ken to 20 Barbies.
That's the whole, there's nothing.
That Ken
woke
must have had
about
the time of his life.
Yeah, he
Black
did.
Ken.
Hey, man, brother.
Dude, they should have had Black Ken instead of Simu Ken.
I had an Aladdin
Real.
Ken. I mean, I'm Middle Eastern, so of course I did. I had an Aladdin Ken.
I remember those. Oh my god.
Dude, I had Barbies. I'm not
Speaking
gonna lie.
of things, Nadja, I know you're a makeup person. I was watching this on like an HD TV, and what the heck was up with some of the makeup? Like, especially when they were in Barbie Land, like the makeup on Ken looked so bad. Like it was weird. Like I don't know what they did to his chest and like.
Oh, they
his
made him look
face.
plastic.
Oh, they tanned him up, make him look.
It was just
plastic.
it just looked so weird. It didn't
But
look like
it's Barbie Land. They're
I thought
supposed
it
to look
fit
weird,
with the
yeah.
plastic like aesthetic of everything else. Like the beach is made of plastic, the cars are made of plastic, the hotel,
I don't know. It just
hospital that
looked
rolls
really
out onto the
weird
beach
to
is
me.
plastic.
Like there was some weird like ripply stuff on his chest, and I don't know if he just lost a lot.
That might just be steroids.
Yeah, I just thought it looked weird. Like there was some color like discrepancies. Like I don't know.
Listen, I agree. Yeah, there were definitely different colorations. They probably were in a rush, but I will tell you, makeup can do a lot of things, but it can't solve a lot of aging issues. So
yeah, that was like another thing. And I wish they
unless
just
you're
would
gonna
have
have
tried to make it look weird. Like it just looked. I don't know.
He's in his 40s, Andrew.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, he looks great for being in his 40s, but you know.
He's going to be in the Marvel movies.
He's 43. Yeah, he's going to be Kang now. That's crazy.
And the Conqueror.
Literally me conquering all of time and space.
I would love to see him as Doctor Doom. I would just do it.
No,
Cillian
Cillian Murphy.
Who are you?
No, can we talk about this for a little bit? Maybe the Oppenheimer Barbie phenomenon.
Yeah, I'm curious. I wonder if Barbie would have had
no, Lottie.
Before Barbie came out, I called it. I said Barbie's going to be bigger than Oppenheimer because Barbie is an event for women where you can dress up, you can have girls' nights, you can do stuff like that. Where Oppenheimer, that's a big pill to swallow.
It's also a household name brand, and it's also PG-13. And Oppenheimer was a hard R.
Yeah,
I
but
wouldn't
the
say it was a hard
comparison
R,
for
but
Barbie
women
is probably
always-
the Mario film, and that everyone has recognized it. And if you're a woman, you've probably owned at least one in your life. It's an incredible cultural property. The film
But
is
it's
kind of
also-
an advert for that, which is weird given that the film likes to pretend that it's not advertising prescriptive like social mores, but nevertheless it is an advert for Mattel. But the Mario movie is the direct comparison because Mario is probably the closest thing that on the guy side that there is. Oppenheimer is an incredibly niche production by a very well-known director. It did incredibly well for a biopic, like massively well. But they were never going to be direct competitors, I don't think, in terms of box office draw, just partly because of what you say. Like they're just not the same proposition at all.
No.
Yeah. Well, I look at it too. Like a lot of women I know, it made an event out of it. You know, you go with your mothers, you take your grandmothers, because Barbie is also a generational thing too. For how long it's been around. But I feel that neither of them would have done as well had it not been marketed with the whole Barbieheimer thing.
Well, that's true.
I think
I was like, is there some
That's
kind
so
of connection
true.
that people are making to this? Because I'm trying to figure it out. Are they
I
being
don't-
kind of,
I-
like,
yeah.
nihilistic?
I wrote that shit so hard. I wrote it so hard, man.
Now I haven't seen
Oppenheimer?
Oppenheimer. I haven't seen
Barbenheimer.
I think Oppenheimer
you haven't seen
benefited
Oppenheimer?
from Barbieheimer than Barbie benefited from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
Oppenheimer
no, I
that rode
agree,
that
yeah.
wave. Yeah.
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 No, I haven't. Andrew, I haven't seen because my bladder won't let me see
think-
Oppenheimer.
Bro.
Think about it.
Why do you let your bladder dictate what you do? Just
Pause the movie. Pause
No,
it.
I'm gonna watch it now that I can watch it at home, but I didn't go to the theaters to see it. I'm not
It's
gonna
worth it.
see
It's
Oh.
worth every
It's
second.
such a yeah.
Well, Christopher Nolan was just interviewed like recently, or just what quote came out the other day. He was just like, I'm very satisfied with the state of cinema right now because a 3-hour-long rated R black and white movie about Oppenheimer made $1 billion, more than any movie I've ever made, or whatever. You know, bigger splash. And he's just like, the way he said it, he sounded like he was like kind of shocked by it, and it's like it had to have been part of Barbie, like the Barbie phenomenon.
Sure.
You know?
And there's not much to there wasn't much to go see. And on top of that, the ticket prices for IMAX, and then on top of that, the ticket prices for 70 millimeter IMAX, all factor into that number as well. But yes, I mean, not to take anything away from Oppenheimer, because making over $1 billion for a rated R biopic that is half black and white is something that is kind of absurd.
It's absurd, but it's a fucking masterpiece, man. I've seen that movie
really
many
good.
times.
I'm gonna have to. weekend.
Oh,
This weekend. I'll watch it this
it's
weekend.
so
You'll enjoy it.
beautiful.
Yes.
It's his most poetic movie. It's like, yeah, it's structure. It has like this like sort of very like Christopher Nolan puzzle piece structure kind of thing.
I'm just there
Yeah.
for my boy Josh
Non-linear.
Hartnett. Okay.
But
He's
but a
really
lot
good
of
in it.
He is.
But there,
Yeah,
yeah,
like-
He's looking good,
There's-
and you know what? He's looking good.
Yeah.
He's looking real good.
who?
Josh Hartnett.
Because
Oh,
he
he's
married a woman half his
Yo,
age.
you should watch.
Good for him.
Guys,
Good for him.
the day
He knows what he's doing.
I saw Oppenheimer in IMAX. Came home, and I was winding down. I turned on Netflix. I was like, I'm gonna watch a Black Mirror episode. I turned it on, and he was in it.
Yeah. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah. So Josh
Yeah.
Hartnett has a Black Mirror episode with Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad. And it's really good. Highly recommend you guys check it. It's Black Mirror season 6 or whatever. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Josh
That was
Hartnett
like the
is
only
really
good episode of that latest season. Of
Yeah,
Black
yeah.
Mirror. Yeah.
He's
True.
also the Wolfman in the Penny Dreadful series. So
Yeah, he's good in Penny Dreadful's
He's great in there.
fantastic.
Yeah.
He took some time off, I believe.
He did. Nadia, he's not in the movie that much. He has like 4 or 5
I know,
minutes
4
screen
times.
time.
Listen,
Yeah.
you know my take. You got to make movies 2 hours or less, all right? And then I'll get my butt in the theater. If not, I'm streaming it at home. Okay.
But Braveheart was
Sorry.
worth it, right?
Yeah, Braveheart was.
I watched it at home. Yeah,
Did you
it
watch
was
it all the
great.
way through? Oh, you didn't watch it all the way through because you had to get the face paint on.
Yeah, watched it all the way
Hey,
through. Yeah.
Platoon, do you like Oppenheimer? I had never talked to you about it.
I have still not had time to see it. The problem when you do 5-hour video essays is that you don't have much time to watch stuff.
Fuck, dude.
So it's on my Christmas list. I have a
When
big,
you write
long Christmas list of
50,000
good
words,
stuff.
I watched your stream the other day. You talked about your word count. I was like, fuck
Oh my
me.
gosh.
It's a
Holy
book.
shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's on my list of things over Christmas. I've got a nice long list of good stuff that I haven't had
Okay.
time to see yet. So Godzilla's on there, Oppenheimer's on
Oh,
there. That's a
Godzilla's great.
natural
That's
thematic
good.
link between those two. So
That's fine.
Godzilla was the first movie this year that when I went to the theaters and watched it, enjoyed it from start to finish, and then noticed it was 2 hours and was like, wow, that was 2 hours. I didn't even realize it. That's how good that
Oppenheimer's the
movie
same way.
was.
It's 3 hours long, but you
Yeah.
My
blow
body
through
will
it,
know.
really.
My
Yeah,
body will
you,
know.
you don't notice it's 3 hours.
No.
Bring back
He does-
intermissions.
No,
Okay.
I don't know. I
No-
think I'm
Nolan
like
is-
the only
Nolan is
person
su-
that was very lukewarm on Oppenheimer.
Who?
Yeah,
Oh.
really good, Joshua.
Why? What?
Let's hear
What
it.
made
Let's hear
you?
it.
What made you lukewarm on a
I just like,
Atom bomb
I felt
film?
like there were 2 different movies going on. Like that, I
There
didn't
is.
know.
Yeah.
There's like the flashbacks and then the stuff in the beginning, and it was just like, I don't need a hero in every movie, but it's like every single character in that movie was such a like objectively horrible person. I didn't care about any of them. They were so bad. And it's like the way he
I know what
treats
you're
his
saying.
wife, the way they treat their kid. Like the stupid commie woman that's nasty, and we had to see her tits for so long. And it's like there was
Florence
good
Pugh? Hello?
performances.
Yeah,
I
what?
liked it. I
Bro.
loved it. But, you were
But
weird.
dude,
and
all right.
Kind of mid.
I said this in the comment section. She has weird boobs, man. Those are some
Dude,
weird
I'd become a
boobs.
comment.
Put them away.
It's a very wide chest.
Like, ugh. And
I'd
no,
become
no
a communist for
commies
her.
that
I
have,
I enjoyed the
What
boobs. That's
consists
fine.
of weird boobs? What makes boobs weird? Why would you call? Yeah, I'm
like
curious.
they're just
They're-
a weird shape.
Listen.
Yeah, they're not
Boobs
even
are
like a boob
boobs.
shape. They're like I don't know. They're like, they're like
Draw me a picture, Copa.
sure.
All right.
Here we go.
Platoon is
pull up
logged
on the
out. He
screen.
doesn't care
Not
about
like
any more
round,
words.
they're more like
No, guys, look, the boob thing is a meme. I get it. It's fine. It's like 2 minutes of the movie.
Listen.
Like, what are we talking about?
Boobs are boobs.
You know what? That
Uh,
scene was not like,
like,
it wasn't overtly sexual
there.
anymore. It was more about vulnerability. They were both vulnerable. They're both naked. They
Vulnerability.
both look uncomfortable and open. And that's what
You guys
that's
must
what it
not
was
watching a
about.
lot of European movies. That happens all the time.
I like
don't
any boob.
mind
Give
it.
me a
It
boob.
just seems so pointless, and I'm really
Boobs
getting
are
sick
boobs.
of like movies where somebody is like a communist and they're just open about it, and Hollywood feels like they have to make them like victimized, or they have to say, "Oh, this poor guy, he was persecuted because he was communist." Like
that was one of the things I heard about the film is that that they do take a fairly soft line on, for example, Oppenheimer's his brother who was a paid up member of the Communist Party. And
apologetic
His brother.
about that.
Yeah.
And then the other weird thing were all the time when they were kept saying, "It's okay that we're doing this because we're Jewish." I
But the movie's
What?
not about that, really.
don't know what that was about.
Yeah.
It-
I feel like I'm listening to each of you, and you're each describing a different movie.
When were
I'm telling
Jewish
you,
people in the
Oppenheimer is
movie?
a very complicated movie.
It's got a lot of stuff in it. Plus, there's
Yeah.
like I mean, it's so weird because like in the end of the movie, they try to make it like he had this kind of like moral change about it, and it never was. It seemed like he started having second thoughts about what he'd done only like when the hydrogen bomb started getting more attention than the atom bomb. And I just
that's actually a good take. I kind of like that.
I mean,
like he's getting
seriously,
jealous
it's
of
like
that. My
he
bombs
never
matter.
has any second thoughts about what he's doing at all.
I like
and
that.
I have like maybe
It's
I haven't read a lot about
I wouldn't say that. I think as he progresses through the development of the atomic bomb, he starts realizing that it's more and more feasible that this thing is going to work, and then he starts realizing
it's simple.
the ramifications of what
Spoiler, it
he's
works.
going through.
It's simple. They had to beat the Germans to the punch, but after the stress of that challenge was fulfilled, he could finally reflect on the future of what this means in terms of evolution of technology, and that's when he changed his mind. It has nothing to do with. Anyway, it's too much to talk about.
It was that Oppenheimer and his whole like crew of scientists were so busy thinking about like, can we make this work, rather than should we make this work.
Yeah,
and
you know what?
They had to. They had no choice.
And then you get the whole like second part of the movie when you finally realize what's going on in the first part of it with the black and white stuff, and it's like just like. I felt like the movie was really long, and I think it's like, okay, I would have focused on either the beginning when they're making the bomb and that, or the end part, because almost the end part was a more interesting story. But I don't know. I just,
you know what? Fuck this movie. Fair. No, thank you. I'll just watch Tombstone. I'm out.
What?
No, that's fair, Lady Balfair. That's totally fair. It's fucking crazy movie.
Because it's like I didn't know the story. I didn't really even know who like the Robert Downey Jr. character was to Oppenheimer till way later in the movie, and then you realize, oh, he's betraying him, and then you're like,
well,
okay,
that's called a plot twist.
It wasn't like a plot twist though. It just seemed like it wasn't like, oh, because it's like he does all of this antagonistic stuff, and there's no context for it, and you're like, why is this happening? And then you're like, oh, this is what happens. And then
and they explain
like some really stupid like Game of Thrones shit.
So it sounds like you're supposed to read a history book before seeing this movie.
Yeah, it's like
I did not, and I thought it was great.
Don't need to. No, you don't.
I don't know. I felt like I just felt very like it was technically well done. There were a lot of good performances in it. I just didn't care about the movie at all. Like I just felt like this was very okay.
I don't know. Cillian Murphy does it for me. I'll go see.
Would this fall under like a objectively great film that you just personally do not care for subjectively?
I would say it was good, not great, and I thought it was like, and I just don't care for it. Yeah, I'm fine saying that. Like I just personally don't care for it. Like it was technically very well done, though. I think there were so many takes of him just staring off into space, and then they showed all of the like atom things going around, and I'm like, there's too much of that.
That's how I feel about Gladiator, so I hear you.
Well, it's just like visualizing how he thinks of like the subatomic realm.
I know, but it's also supposed to be like you see him, and I think the implication is like he's supposed to be really deep in thought, but like what is he thinking? He seems like such a shallow and like narcissistic person. And you know what? Starting the movie off when he's trying to poison his teacher is not a way to get us.
He did it in real life. So
I know that happened in real
honestly,
life, but
I think I'm glad that they did that.
No. This guy is an awful person. I'm not rooting
the
for
apple.
him at all.
The idea of the apple is the idea of the apple is to represent something that he just impulsively wants to do, but eventually he's able to take it back. Now another apple is the atom bomb. He can't take that back, and that's the whole thing, and that's the whole idea of the movie. Like he's created this thing that he cannot take back anymore.
I can agree, but at the same time, he was willing to poison his teacher, and he would have just let it happen until he realized the other guy he wanted to hear the lecture from was going to be there, so he needed to save that guy's life.
Have we not had moments where we wanted to poison our professor, though?
True. I wanted to do that last semester.
There you go.
I don't know. I
don't think
like I
a
said,
character-
it wasn't his greatest movie, and I certainly it didn't and I was like the overall feeling of the movie was like a downer.
The chat is still talking about Barbie.
Yeah,
We're making
because I
it-
thought
we're
we were
making it
here to
sound
talk
like-
about Barbie.
Yes, let's go back to Barbie because we have people who
Yeah,
have
Barbie.
seen Oppenheimer, so I don't want to get too deep into
Chat,
that
go
one.
see Oppenheimer. It's
yes,
great.
it
I
is
mean,
good.
see it and make
Yeah.
up your own mind. I mean,
But-
like I said, it's just me.
Spoiler
it-
alert: Japan gets nuked twice.
Yeah, and they deserve
Yeah,
it.
we win.
They're asking
W.
for it. They got it.
Mm.
So
I mean,
Well,
how else are
Japan
we gonna
shouldn't have
get
dressed-
Godzilla.
Japan
I'll
shouldn't
take
have.
Oppenheimer get Godzilla -1. So
True, they're both canon to each other.
Yeah.
But in terms of the marketing campaign, how did that like? Do you have any idea how that started, Platoon? Do you know whose idea that was? Was it a natural thing to have the Barbie and Oppenheimer campaigns linked?
I don't know
believe
for
it was
sure,
an
but
accident.
I think for most really, really good marketing things, or generally most really, really good things, it was a complete accident. It's an entirely organic example of viral mimetic marketing, and you will
Twitter.
never ever be able to replicate that deliberately. There's been a few things like that. When Tom Cruise comes out after Top Gun or just before Top Gun even and says thank you to the audience for sticking with me, which is a fairly genuine sentiment on his part. Since then, you've had several studios, including Disney for Indiana Jones, have the actor go in front and say, "Oh, thank you to the fans for coming out and watching the film," even though nobody went to fucking watch Indiana
On
Jones.
top of that-
Like, it's so obviously a fake attempt to recapture the magic of something which was quite natural. So I think you've probably had a few attempts to do Barbenheimer again with other properties. It won't work because there's a difference between when it's a natural outgrowth of memetics versus a conscious marketing decision by ad campaigners, and that will always seem fake compared to what we actually got.
On top of that, Tom Cruise tried to do it again for Dead Reckoning, and then it flopped.
Mm.
Congrats.
I was gonna say there were two things that jump started because like people who were keeping an eye on releases knew that it was going to be interesting, but then the whole IMAX theaters with Dead Reckoning was an issue that was starting to make rounds right after its release, and they Nolan said that he wasn't moving, and then it became a debate about whether WB or whoever did
Universal?
Oppenheimer, one of them was considering moving the date because of Barbie, and then that kind of blew up the Barbenheimer thing.
Well,
even
the
more
thing,
online.
and the thing was that the rumor on the street was Warner Brothers specifically chose that date because they knew Universal was going to release Oppenheimer, and they were going to shove Barbie into the face of Nolan because they had a falling out after his contract was up. And then I think organically the fight began online of why would you fucking go see Barbie when something as great as Oppenheimer is going to come out? No one's
but why would you go see Oppenheimer when you can go see Ken for 2 hours?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's where the fight began. It was like and
I
so
think it was a little bit of
I think it
women
grew.
versus men
Well, I think it grew
pushing-
organically from there, and then the actors got involved, and they
So
went.
here's what happened. If you watch the Margot Robbie Ryan Gosling interview, Variety interview,
Cillian?
she's sorry, Cillian Murphy. She says that it was her decision that she was not going to move the date. She stood her ground. She said, "No, I'm not moving." So apparently, somebody approached her
Universal
from Universal, and she said no. And that's
Who
where
said
that came
this?
from. Margot Robbie
Krubik?
said this. No, Margot Robbie said this.
But where does Margot Robbie have the?
She's a producer.
She's an executive producer.
Yeah,
She
but
was one of
she's
the
not.
reasons
Yeah,
the
but
movie
she's not a
flopped.
studio exec.
Yeah,
She's executive producer of the movie. So
No, she
it
was-
doesn't matter what she
No,
says.
she's in charge of that whole movie.
She was kind of.
She's not in charge. Yeah, but she's not
there.
there. She's not in charge of release dates and stuff
Well,
like
that's
that.
what she said. And
Well, she could say that all she wants, but she's not a studio exec.
She's one of the
I
reasons this
don't
movie
know.
took off, though. So I think
Yeah.
we do.
Well,
need
that's
to acknowledge
true.
that. Yeah.
I
And
think
can
the
we
studios do
please stop
whatever she says.
that the Margot Robbie is mid thing? That's got to go. That's kind of
Yeah.
Gotta go.
Who's saying that?
Who's saying that she
Is
is
someone saying
mid?
that in chat right now? I'm
What the
banning 'em.
fuck?
It's she's hot as fuck, dude.
Dude.
Oh my
Yeah.
Wait, who's saying she's mid?
She's
Someone in the chat? Ban him.
She
Get
is
out.
a perfect example.
I think Lofty was saying that.
No,
Barbie.
she's hot as
She
fuck.
was perfect to play Barbie.
Cats are cringe. Get it off. Get off the camera.
Cobra cringe, Cobra
No.
cringe. Oh, look at that face. bangles are so pretty. I mean, they look like golden. Oh. Where's George?
No,
George.
The irony of Barbie and Oppenheimer being so vastly different from each other basically propelled that meme into like the stratosphere.
Oh my
like,
god!
Like Oppenheimer's, you know, nihilistic, pessimistic view of humanity, and then Barbie's like sort of, you know, it's just Barbie.
Yeah.
So it's like
I feel
the
like
woman
I was
movie.
thinking
Yeah.
about the ideology of the two, and they're almost like related in a way because it is sort of like the nihilism of the modern age with the atomic bomb, and all of a sudden you could end the world, and then it's just kind of like the monotony, the lack of freedom or individuality in this Barbie world is kind of grim. Like, I just wanted something to
Can we
happen.
talk
Like,
about-
I was waiting for the story to start in Barbie. I'm like, what lesson
that's
is he
fair.
going to learn? Like,
That's fair. Can we talk about the originality in Barbie and Oppenheimer in terms of their own? Yes, it's an IP. Yes, it's Hasbro. What the fuck? Mattel. Yeah, Mattel. But look, both of those movies had an original story, and they were not franchises. They were not. And Oppenheimer clearly was like a biopic. It's not really even a biopic, but like, yeah, it kind of is. But like audiences are kind of
analysis.
Do you think audiences? Do you think the general audience? Now, don't overestimate or underestimate this. Like, your genuine opinion. Do you think audiences in general are tired of normie sort of franchise stuff and actually sort of crave? And you could even go back to Everything Everywhere All at Once and that phenomenon.
No, I think the precise opposite is the case.
Okay, go ahead.
Barbie is a well-established brand with a huge amount of sort of latent audience familiarity. If you look at the biggest franchise things coming down the line, all video games with established IPs, with established audiences. You've got Fallout coming out. You've got
Mario
World of Warcraft coming out. You've got Mario coming out. That's going to be the next big meta. Superheroes was just the first big meta for like that. Let's take the established IP from one format to another. It's not the audiences are sick of franchises. It's maybe that they're a bit tired of the superhero one. But generally, if you want to have a guaranteed buck, at least with your first film, you go for something that people are already familiar with.
Yeah,
and that's the precise opposite of being tired of the franchise. That's actually exploiting the franchise, if anything.
There's this. Yeah, I actually agree.
they're
And
going
there's
with
this sort of-
anime and stuff now really hard.
That's fine. I love that. Like Pinocchio and Mario and Across the Spider-Verse. Yeah, animation and Boy in the Heron made $100 million. Animation is fucking amazing. I love.
It's like, especially the first Into the Spider-Verse one. The second one, oh,
I love the second one. I don't know. It's just a little incomplete, but it's fine.
I haven't seen it yet.
No. What I'm trying to say is like there's this kind of this thing going around on Twitter at least where people are like, oh, audiences are craving original stories and sort of like our artistic like niche meta stuff, and it's like I wish that was the case because then the Northman made $400 million, but the Northman made $70 million and nobody fucking saw it. So in reality, what's happening is audiences are still relatively normie. Look at Megan, look at Five Nights at Freddy's. But what they are sort of craving something.
Those are franchises, though. I think it's
Right.
Five Nights at Freddy's is a franchise.
But Platoon made a point about Marvel superheroes being tired, but not necessarily the franchise IP sort of thing in general. And I think I agree with that. It's just it's like we're moving away from the superhero thing, but audiences are still kind of doing the same thing they've always done, which is they like the big platforms and the big franchises and stuff. So
also, your average audience
and
member
Nolan is
not
popular.
the kind of
Yeah.
person who goes out of their way to try and find something edgy and
No,
very
no.
different and innovative. Audiences who are going to the cinema casually want to see something they think will, give a good chance of entertaining them, given they're spending, $10 to $20 on the thing. They
Yeah.
want a reasonable chance of success without being too taxed intellectually or emotionally.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons Barbie was so successful, and it's one of the reasons that franchises are more successful than art house cinema. Is that everyone knows they've played a Mario game and liked it. So what's the worst that could happen from a Mario film?
Yeah, don't
good
go see
point.
When Evil Lurks. Don't go see that if you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
It was a great movie. My goodness.
Oh yeah, it's a great movie. I loved it. I think it's one of my favorite movies of the year. But yeah, that's rough.
Flower Moon. Does anyone know
I
the
still haven't
box
seen that.
office?
I haven't seen that.
The box office made 154 million. That's not that much money.
Yeah. On a 200 mil to
pretty
budget,
bad.
right?
Napoleon. I'm looking it up now. Box office was 200 million.
Yeah, but
roughly.
Napoleon was a piece of shit movie.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to
It was
say is,
garbage.
I'm trying to say, like, these are the kinds of movies that I would prefer to watch. Nah, maybe even Napoleon, the 4-hour
Sure.
director's cut is better, but I've been
Doubt.
championing this on my channel. What I do is like, it's an extension of my personality. I like original films. I like movies like Fight Club and Pulp Fiction. I kind of like wish we would get back to that kind of like
I miss those.
like pop, you know what I mean? Like that kind of pop culture.
Bro, we had Cocaine Bear this year. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
I don't.
What more
I-
drama do you
that
want?
Dude,
Yeah.
that
Like,
movie was
look,
peak.
I don't have Marvel posters on my wall. I have Kill Bill on my wall.
I don't know if I
I
believe
have-
that, Lofty.
Yeah.
Prove
I have
it.
American Psycho on my wall. Like these are the kinds of movies that like really like stick with, like, I don't know. They're also cult classics. or
Sounds like
whatever.
you just want another Tarantino film. That's
Yeah.
You know what I
You're
want?
getting
I want
one in a
Bring
couple years,
Back-
dude.
yeah.
But
No, but like
but here's
back to the
here's what
movie.
here's where I agree with Platoon is we've gotten into where, hey, the audiences are getting comfortable with the franchises, and the blockbuster is reserved for the theaters, and now your dramas and the things that will challenge you and your intellect and whatnot, that's more of your streaming services now. That's where you're going to find your high octane dramas
true.
and things of that nature. It's actually I mean, if Nolan
That's
wasn't
very
directing
true.
Oppenheimer would probably been on a streaming service.
Yeah.
be honest with
Chris, even Del Toro has had to shop around his new Frankenstein movie like
Right.
to 5 different studios, and they all rejected it, and then
Yeah.
Netflix picked it up of all places. So Netflix, Amazon, Apple. Look at that new Adam Sandler movie, The Spaceman. You guys see that trailer?
No, I've not
Um,
seen that.
It's like, it looks
that
cool.
looks
It's
fun.
like,
I'm interested in
Yeah,
that
yeah,
one. Yeah.
it's all these like, transgressive, like, sort of art house films and shows are now primarily streaming, and the studios are like Blue Beetle and the Marvels.
Right.
Like they
Well,
don't even know what the fuck they're doing.
It's turned it. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I personally, I watch mostly horror. So most of my content comes from streaming, like Copa says. It's very rare that I'll go to the movie theaters, even for a horror release. I mean, I did see Thanksgiving, but most decent horror for this year went to straight for streaming services or given by streaming.
No One Will
services.
Save You was Hulu exclusive, and it was fucking amazing.
I won't watch it because I'm afraid of aliens. but I-
Aliens? Yeah, I talked to you about this. Yeah, it's the
You're
best
afraid
horror
of
movie
aliens.
of the year.
That's
Yeah.
So No One Will Save You and Talk to Me are my favorite horror movies of the year, and Talk to Me had a minor theatrical run, but No One Will Save You was Hulu.
Yeah.
Like,
It's because streaming
know what I mean?
services still have this competition between them, which that they are struggling to survive in a way that big film studios are not quite at that point. So they are looking for the next big thing and are prepared to take more risks on that, because the whole point of streaming is that you're supposed to have more content which is more innovative at the same time.
Yep.
Whereas big film studios which are releasing for cinemas are basically saying, what did everybody go and watch this time last year, and how can we just do the same thing again? And that's why you have just superhero film. Even indie superhero films come out occasionally. Or like, was it Bright something or other? Brightburn something or other?
Brightburn?
There's
The
a
horror
Gunn, a
Superman
James
one?
Gunn related Bright
Yeah.
something
didn't
burn. I
like
think
it.
was.
Brightburn.
Bad Superman movie, yeah.
But again, it's Superman and it's superheroes, and it's the meta, and that's incredibly lazy, because big studios are in this monopoly position where they think they're too big to fail, so they don't have to try. All they need to do is try and capture an existing audience. Streaming services still have to prove that they deserve your money more than the other streaming service does, and so they are taking more risks. Even Apple TV, for example, Tetris had a limited theatrical release, but it was principally Apple TV, one of the best films of the year. But if you
I
try
love
to
that
market
movie.
that to people and say, like, what are the economic prospects of a movie about the origins of Tetris? Most film
Right.
studios would have said, no, fuck off, we're not putting that in the cinema. But
The game
actually,
about
that's the great
blonde.
thing about streaming. One of
Boring.
the few good things about streaming is that actually we have this space or films like that. Most of them are going to be bombs, most of them will flop, but occasionally you'll have more innovation which produces a good new property that people actually want to go and see.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, like,
Apple's
the-
good right now. Apple's pretty good right now. I'm not gonna lie.
I
Apple is
enjoyed-
Napoleon and Killers of the Flower Moon. Were, you know, they had the shared theater release, but they're Apple TV productions.
I also enjoyed the Blue-Eyed Samurai. That was a
That's
that was
Netflix.
yeah, that was great. But
It's
something
fantastic.
like that,
Critical Drinker just recommended that today.
yeah.
Oh, did he?
Yep. By the way, I will say Pluto is better, and it's the best. It's the best show of the year. It happens to be an anime adaptation of a chapter from the original Astro Boy movie, but it's like Astro Boy meets Blade Runner, and I think it's the best show of the year. Period. It's called Pluto.
It's my
It's on-
second best show of the year. I just
amazing,
finished that
Vex.
yesterday.
That
Yeah.
reminds me, I
amazing.
need to
Yeah.
see Blade Runner. I've never seen Blade Runner.
You never seen Blade Runner either?
No.
What?
Man, you got so much first reaction
catching up to,
content,
girl.
Nadia.
I know. It's gonna be Tombstone.
Add
It's
next
gonna be
Actually-
weekend.
so good. Yeah, you.
Tell people about your background because people maybe don't know.
Who?
Who's
You.
Your background. That's
Oh!
what you do.
I used to work in Hollywood as a special effects artist. So I used to do makeup effects and physical effects. So like creature design, gore, stuff like that for horror independent horror movies.
I love it. I love that.
Did you
shit.
make Lofty less cringe?
Yes.
Hey!
When I sent you pictures
you
today
talking
from
about?
I was looking through my Facebook and I found those pictures from being on set for VHS 2 I sent you over with the
Yeah,
face core and stuff and the pube plugging.
the pube plugging.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you think of the makeup effects for the movie Hellraiser?
I
fucking love
like-
that shit so much.
I
Oh my
like the
God.
original thought of it. I didn't like the Hulu remake or
No,
requel or whatever.
The
but
original-
the original, yeah. Back in the day, like when you could be creative with creature design
Oh,
instead of having to
so
go
much.
through multiple approvals. Heck yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's what
Well,
I love about Nadia. That is the story behind the multiple approvals for Deadpool when he was in the first Wolverine reveal of Deadpool, and he had like the Baraka blades coming out of his arms and stuff like that. Have you watched the documentary behind that?
No.
Of so the props department all came out and just pretty much broke down just how many notes they got on Deadpool, to the point because they originally had him as the original Deadpool, and they kept switching it to every note that they got from studio executives to the director, from everybody, until it's the creature amalgamation of whatever the fuck it was at the end there. It's just it's incredible. It's only 15 minutes long and it's on YouTube somewhere. But it's just
I'll check it out.
yeah, it's really I'll send it to you. But it's really good.
That wants us.
When I
Chat
was
wants
working
us-
in Hollywood, it was mostly guerrilla style effects. So we were right before the more commercialized of how horror is nowadays and movies where, you know, effects artists who've been around for 10, 20 years were trusted in the design and what was happening on set, where now it's more studios execs are always on set, everything has to be approved, most things are done post CGI. So I'm sad that I had to leave that career, but I'm also glad I didn't continue as Hollywood has kind of gone downhill with that stuff.
Yeah.
But there's a rarity when a movie like, and most of them are not US based, like when Evil Lurks comes in, where it's all mostly practical effects and gore effects, that I'm just more into the story than when I'm like, oh, that looks like CGI blood. That looks really fake. That coloring looks awful.
A24
Yeah.
does a good job of that kind of stuff. And the new Exorcist movie, the new Evil Dead movie, actually
I
has
liked
some
it. I thought it
pretty
was
good
great.
stuff. Yeah,
It's a great
Yeah.
title scene. Great
Yeah.
title scene. Thought it was
I
great.
agree. I don't know why they started with a fast forward, but whatever. No, the chat wants us to talk about Barbie special effects.
Well, they asked about that, yes. So, but I do have one question about Barbie. I want to get through this because there's good elements in that film. There's fun stuff, especially the beginning of it. And so I want to start with Platoon. But how would you fix it? Is it fixable? And how they approach the rest of it to make it more of an actual cinematic experience, more of a film than just a bunch of vignettes.
Make it the Lego movie, but for women. Literally, it would be a 10 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
There
Because
is
the
that
Lego movie is
option.
a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, there is that option. You go for the Lego movie or you go for the Mario style, which is just having fun with your established IP without worrying too much about story. But
Yes.
I don't think Greta Gerwig would do that because, I have some respect for what she tries to do. I just don't think she does it very well. To fix Barbie, you would have to ditch the awkward insertion of the feminist stuff that Hollywood basically demands you have in, and you really do actually do Lady Bird in Barbie world, effectively. That would be a strong character-driven story with a strong, consistent thematic message, and the realization at the end that nobody can be perfect, but also we're not boxable. We can't actually be put into the boxes that Barbie comes in. We all have to be our own individual selves. And having the climax be Barbie happy or finding happiness in Barbie world as opposed to saving it, then transcending it, I think would cap that off as a fairly strong plot, probably.
How do you feel about the fact that she's going to be taking over for Chronicles of Narnia?
God.
Oh,
that is going to be a thematic.
Now,
mess.
objectively, that is my favorite book series. It's probably right before Lord of the Rings, so because it's the first book series I grew up with. So I have a very soft spot for it, and the original BBC TV series of it.
I suspect they will absolutely butcher Susan because I can't see Greta Gerwig going along with Susan being cast out of Narnia because she's too much like a girl. That's not something Gerwig will go along with, I don't think. So that will be ditched. But I think she has immense talent. And, when she's allowed to be, when she's not trying to force in things for the sake of message, when she is trying to tell a human story, she's a strong filmmaker. She's got a great technical grounding and she has a great knowledge of film history. So she can deploy that to her immense credit. And I would like to see, I like watching the film she does just because they look good. And up until the point of Barbie, they tend to have fairly consistent themes as well with strong character work. They're quite feeling films. Lady Bird is a feeling film. It's a nice, poignant, emotional film. That motherhood, daughterhood thing is a good, strong thematic link. More of that is better, but that might mean that she has to keep more of her indie side and actually push back more against what Hollywood sort of defines as acceptable filmmaking.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I think with Barbie, they could have got the same messages through, especially through the middle portion in the real world, without going with the over the top examples of the patriarchy.
That was so.
It would have been subtle. They could have done it. It was cringe.
Hey. To be fair, that the over the top patriarchy stuff in the real world led to the Kendom whole arc, which I thought was awesome.
It was incredible.
So, they actually could have kept that, but like I said earlier, they could have given Ken his own self-discovery arc and kind of finale kind of moment. Ditched the whole matriarchy reversal entirely. Had Barbie, I don't know how they would have resolved. Maybe Ken realizes that he fucking fucked up and like he takes it. Sort of takes back. So I don't know how they would have fixed that whole part. Honestly, I'm not like pretending that I would be a better
arc. You could do that.
Yeah, but I'm not out
want
here.
To be free. It's like they want their own place. They don't want to live in Barbie land. They need a place. Men need a place in the world. They need to feel like they're valued and they're not just something that's there that their day isn't made until Barbie acknowledges him. Like that is
right. They could have went with that sort of dynamic, and then like I said, just ditch the whole women like rediscovering their like empowerment over men thing, which made no sense. That it's just so contradictory to everything else in the movie. And then also get rid of the fucking Mattel nonsense in the movie.
Yeah, get rid of Will Ferrell.
Oh yeah, the Will.
Oh yeah, he's in
so weird.
They had such a good opportunity to do some like wacky, funny joke where they had the instruction of like how to get to the real world, going through that Barbie, like go on the buggy, go into the ocean, go in a spaceship, and it's all in that like 2D staged style. That was really good.
Funny.
It's very Wes
really
Anderson.
funny.
I like that.
What would have been really funny is if like Will Ferrell and all of his goons like took a wrong turn and just got lost in that hellscape, and then they just die. That would have been way funnier than them just
They
showing up at the end. Yeah.
Will Ferrell to me has not been funny in a long time,
No.
and the only joke that landed in there for me is when he landed and saw pregnant Barbie. It was like, oh, I thought we discontinued you, but that was about it.
That was very
he has no purpose in that movie whatsoever.
Yeah, it would be the easiest thing to cut out because you could already cut it out and the film wouldn't substantively change. It's really just there as an and then, like, it's the reason that Ruth Handler is in the film. So they, like, Barbie meets her through Mattel, and she has to run away from someone to meet America Ferrera. So, like, what's her name, Ferrera? So
I take it back from what I said. I think Will Ferrell and the Boardman, those guys could probably have been cut out of there.
Yeah. But to be fair, they did this whole. Now, when I watched the movie, I thought of The Matrix when they did the whole like Neo office kind of cubicle thing.
Yeah.
But in retrospect, I've seen the movie Playtime. Jacques, I can't remember the director. It's a French film, but they were just doing the Playtime thing, and they were doing the aesthetic of like the mundane office cubicle thing. I that was fine. That was but the Mattel thing, the meta of that kind of makes sense, except they didn't tie in that with the themes of the movie. They just did it aesthetically.
It also introduces things which have they beg interesting questions that are never resolved. So it's mentioned in the Mattel sequence that Barbies have previously escaped from Barbie World, and this was a really bad thing. So the obvious question is, okay, well, then how and why? We heard nothing more about that. Yeah, we have to put you back in the box because that's how we send you back to Barbie World. Except, of course, we don't have to do that because you're going back there on your own anyway. So what the fuck is the point? The whole thing is just a complete redundancy.
They really missed like an opportunity to explain the magic system. I mean, like the magic system we get is there's like, you know, like America Ferrera and her like wine mommy, like I hate my life because of my poor life choices, and she's making like
for real
late third wave feminist miserable woman like Barbie, and it's manifesting in the Barbie world. And then there's a box that can transport people, and that somehow like the FBI and Mattel know this. Like they're like, this movie is, I think the best way to describe it is like a lot of missed opportunities, because that stuff's never explained. Like we could cross over, so we could be more than Barbies. We could be more than just our stereotypical jobs. We could be individuals.
And they invite the Matrix comparisons because they do a Matrix reference. You have the sandal versus the high heel, and the explanation of this gap between Barbie world and the real world. And they're doing the Matrix in that moment. And in that moment, I was thinking this could be a really interesting premise for a film. Like, what is the divide between Barbie world? Are you doing a Matrix parody all the way through? Because I'd be up for that. But then they just forget that they did that. So never mind.
It's like they went back to it's like the Matrix when it's like Neo went back into the Matrix and then like restructured the Matrix to fit like some sort of stereotype, and then left the Matrix again at the end of the movie. Like it doesn't make any sense at all. It's so stupid. I don't know, man.
The box was obviously a reference to having the woman be contained, but maybe it was also a little you could tie it at the end because she goes to the gynecologist, right? So she was in a box, and then she goes and gets her box examined. No, maybe.
Jesus.
It felt like the end of that movie.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Trans metaphor or something. Like she's gonna be a real woman now. Like
I mean, if I went from plastic to finally having a vagina, I would make sure it's working properly too.
I'd do the same thing.
It's been sealed up for a long time, apparently.
But that's like the weird thing that they don't really explain. Like, is she like anatomically correct? Is she a real human?
Well, they
now?
explain it in
They
the
do when
dialogue
she breathes. At the end, when she starts to,
if anything, it's anti-trans. If anything, it's not intentionally anti-trans, but it is because women have vaginas, and women. The new movie, Poor Things, Yorgos Lanthimos, his new Emma Stone movie, Mark Ruffalo. This movie's coming out. It's getting backlash because it's getting backlash right now. There's this stupid, like, sort of weird spiral on Twitter. People are saying that they never showed period blood in the movie because it's about like sort of the feminist biology. And there's some women now. There's this other. They're infighting, right? These fucking woke women are infighting with each other. They're like, some of them are like, well, not all women have periods, and it's like, oh god. So now like,
again.
yeah.
Buckle up.
I think no. I'm telling you what I'm saying is people are doing this stupid reading into it too fucking hard. And with Barbie, it's just her femininity and her accepting, like, I'm sorry, the Pinocchio thing just completely lines up. Like she's becoming a real woman, so she gets a vagina, and it's just like it's just a funny haha ending. It's not supposed to be anything more than that.
When has she ever
so
wanted
obvious.
to be a human in that? Like she doesn't. She makes no connection with the human.
She
it's like
does. She
does during the Billie Eilish
lady. She sits on the bench. She sits on the bench. She looks around. She sees all of the people living their lives, and she cries. She talks to the old lady. She clearly empathizes with the human condition. That's a clear, absolutely clear scene.
Was so dumb. She's
no,
like,
that's I'm right. That's exactly what the scene is.
And then she says, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful." And the old woman looks back to her. She's like, "I know, like women affirming women."
I believe that woman was a descendant of the woman who created Barbie too, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, I believe.
Oh, the actress. I'm sorry.
If you read the interviews with Greta Gerwig about that scene, she said that it's a cul-de-sac that doesn't go anywhere, but it's also the heart of the movie, so she didn't cut it out. And I would agree. I think she's probably underselling herself. I think it is the heart of the movie. It
is.
That is Barbie realized. It's actually probably the nicest part of the film because she's also looking around and she's seeing that men are being kind of put down by reality as well.
By women.
It's fairly egalitarian, often by women in that situation. Yes. I like the scene in isolation. I just wish the rest of the film had sort of lived up to it. But it's never really a good sign when like you're asking the director and the writer, what did you mean by that scene? And she says, I don't know. It's just there. I liked it.
It's the heart of the movie, but it's really not connected to anything.
Yeah, that's not good.
Really cool, or like I like these characters in this situation. It's comfy. Like, oh, shut up.
It can't be connected because it goes back to zero. The end goes right back to zero again. Like nothing was accomplished.
Lady B, I have a question for you because you just saw it today, correct?
Yeah.
Did you go in with already knowing other people's opinions and watching review videos prior to it, or
I hadn't watched any review videos of it. I had heard people. I had my take on it was people thought it was amazing. And it was like some satirical commentary, and then I thought people that thought it was like absolute trash.
Yeah,
and
so
I'm like, I'm just gonna go in and just watch this movie, and then by the time the first part was kind of interesting. I found that weird narration thing kind of strange.
The reason I ask is because I know a lot of people who went into seeing it wanting to hate it just right off the bat.
Oh no, I was like, I'll give it a chance.
Well, that happens with everything, dude.
This kept going downhill so much. Like it seemed kind of interesting, but it's just like,
look,
okay, there should be some kind of character plot arcs, something should move somewhere. There should be
that's fair.
Vex, I want to ask you before we move on too far. How would you fix it? Could you fix Barbie?
It needs some kind of a story arc. Like there has to be movement. I mean, think about where the characters start and where they end, and it's like, yeah, Barbie ends up becoming human, or that Barbie gets up human. I still can't get over the whole it's a collective society. They're all Barbie and they're all Ken.
Well,
and that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Maybe I've just watched too much Star Trek: The Next Generation, but it's just weird to me. And then the other thing that was really weird to me is the fact that the men are basically slaves to these women, and it's they could have emphasized that men there's no conflict with the women. It's just they want their own lives. They want to be able to have some freedom and have Ken land, and that could be a plot point. I mean, I would have definitely made it more so okay, Barbie feels more for the humans in it, and it's she cares more about the people, the girl that she has to interact with, instead of just I need to do this because I need to save myself.
Vexy,
and
I want to hear from you.
And then they kind of go on and like maybe Ken brings the knowledge, and I don't know. I mean, it needed to like focus either on like Barbie brings individuality and humanity back into like Barbie land, or like the Barbies want to get out of there and kind of be more human or something like that. Like you could, there's a lot of different ways you could go. And also the cool thing is like the stuff that they hint at, the magic system, like the fact that the people at Mattel, like their decisions are changing things in Barbie land. Like maybe there's something that like, you know, Barbie people could interact with Mattel people. I honestly thought what would happen at the end of the movie was that Barbie was going to go get a job at Mattel. Like she wanted
That
to
would
make
be
a
way
change.
too on the nose.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it's just like she was gonna do something. She wanted to change something, and it was like it's implied in the last scene, which to me just was such a like. It's just like the movement of the movie. It was just such a like flat line, and then it's like
the Mattel people got embarrassed.
you're human
you know.
now. I don't know.
Yeah. But
Vex, how would you fix the movie?
Yeah, Vex.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you guys talking to Vex? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Lady Vampire, shut the fuck up.
You're good, Lady V. You're
I am
good.
so sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
I did not mean to talk over you.
God. Women and yapping, am I right, boys? Jeez.
I would have liked this to just either like, because again, like, first act had its issues, but if they had just continued on the okay, they enter the real world and try to deal with the real world, or that ends up just becoming less politically driven and then just trying to, like, I guess, redefine themselves in the modern world, because Barbie and Ken dolls don't have the same impact they did even just like 15-20 years ago. Or they could have just gone like a cool like toy soldiers route, do something like that where
they should fight the Bratz dolls.
Right, or that maybe like it just could have been a really fun, like almost Pixar level movie. That's kind of what I was hoping this would be, but it just became all about the message and the politics, and then didn't. It was literally just Greta Gerwig's like postpartum depression, like on paper, and then it came to life in a movie. That's really all this was.
It really did seem like that.
Yeah, I just wanted a fun toy movie, and you gave me political messaging, so I was quite disappointed.
Yeah.
But that's how I'd fix it.
Well, you wanted a Mario. You wanted a Mario movie.
It wasn't even I wanted
I wanted a Lego movie.
Yeah, a Lego movie would have been great.
Would've.
Like, that's exactly where you want to go. Like, the characters all have an arc. They all go and do something. You got, like, a little bit of adult humor. You got some kid humor. There's a satisfying end that happens for every character. Like, and just, like, the promos kind of made you think that it was going to be like that. But then the promos also intentionally only showed everything that happened in Barbie Land. So.
Well, Jade Diabolical makes a good point here. The problem with Barbie is there's no characteristic of Barbie.
Absolutely.
How do you make I can't even read it. How do you build a story from a non-character?
Well, that's the biggest problem with Barbie then, is she has no character arc ultimately.
I feel
she doesn't.
like that could be something that you do, because
you know what
the whole idea was
cool?
the idea that she wanted to do was she was at this party. She's like, "Oh, Barbie's so great," and then she's like, "Do you guys ever think about that?" And everyone's like, "Hey, yo." And then it's like she's becoming an individual other than these other Barbies, and then like you have like that's something that it feels faintly like they're trying to do that and write a non-character into a character at the end becoming human, with the whole Billie Eilish song looking into the white faded
they explicitly tried it as well, because that's the conclusion when Forever is talking to Will Ferrell's character and says, why don't you just make a Barbie that's normal, like a Barbie who isn't this, that, or the other. She just has a fashionable top and she feels good about herself sometimes, like a normal Barbie, as though that's not the prototype of every Barbie in the world ever. That's already the thing you have.
It's like, you guys are projecting your own insecurities onto the Barbies, okay? Like,
yeah, they're taking it too seriously a little bit. Yeah.
Hold on.
Every night is boys' night.
Every night is boys' night.
Every night is boys' night.
So he has a character, so they could do it. They did make a character. It's just they didn't give really her a character.
Or you know what was a fascinating other thing, like with the magic system, is like how they you had weird Barbie, and it's like you're like realizing the people who own the Barbies kind of imprint their like stuff onto them. So that could be a lot more.
I think weird Barbies, because every girl had a weird Barbie growing up. Everybody just cut hair and destroyed Barbie.
Yeah, my mom
come
loved
on,
that.
you know what I did with my Barbie?
Every boy had a weird G.I. Joe that had
I mean,
bro,
No,
let's go. Okay, go ahead, lady.
I used to make them like stripper Barbies and made them little like bikinis with like.
Jeez.
Hey yo!
Oh my god! Oh my god! This just got dark.
I used to
wish
go
I was
into my
in there.
sister's rooms and pop their Barbie heads off when they would
See,
Who
everyone has
said-
killed Barbie
Yeah.
brutally.
I
Who
have
said,
killed
who
a
said
Barbie
was
doll
it Copa?
before.
You said take the legs off. Who said that?
No, I
Who
said that.
What did you just say?
I said
Take
everyone
leg-
had a GI Joe that they
Bro!
had no legs for some reason.
Okay, bro. When I was smaller,
You guys are
I had a
psychos.
GI Joe, and I guess what I did with my GI Joe. I had like 5.
Oh, I don't.
I used to throw them up. Okay, like I was a big fan of like.
You used to
World
throw
War
them
II.
up? Is that what
It's
you
gonna be
just
good,
said?
Lofty.
No. I would like.
Stop
I
eating your GI Joes, dude.
I would imagine they were like paratroopers, like behind
Mhm.
enemy lines, and I would throw them up into the sky, and then on their way down, they would like hit tree branches, and they would like, I would like try to like pretend their parachutes broke, and then they like landed awkwardly, and like, dude, one of my GI Joe's legs popped off. I like straight up role played. I made him a set of crutches out of straws. and
Bro,
and
Lofty
and
was a little
he-
crafty goblin when he was young.
yeah. So he landed. He was behind enemy lines. He got his fucking leg ripped off, but he like tourniquet that shit. And then he got up and he got a straw and he got a crutch, and he went and did the mission. But I also had Barbies, so I had a lifeguard Barbie. I had a my mom bought me a lifeguard Barbie. Anyway, he got married to Barbie. So
Nice.
I didn't have a fucking Ken. I had a G.I. Joe and a Barbie, and Ken didn't exist. This is my childhood. I don't know. Am I weird? I'm sorry.
How many Barbies did you have?
Okay.
I did that same thing with Halo minifigures.
Hey, I was whatever. This was in the 90s.
I had the
No,
Ranger,
yeah.
Mighty Morphin Rangers where the heads would turn, so it'd be like without
Blasted
the
Lofty,
helmet,
stop.
and then without the helmet. Like
Oh, the Power Rangers. Yeah.
yeah,
You
Power
flip-
Rangers. Yeah.
You
My
flip, you
Morphin
flip the
Power
helmet.
Rangers,
You flip it.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what would have been a really
that
cool
too.
scene? So they make a Snyderverse joke in
Yeah, they do.
Barbie, but what would have been really cool is if like Weird Barbie was like like the villain from Man of Steel. And Barbie was like Superman, and then like she goes into the Weird Barbie layer, and it's just
Oh, jeez.
dismembered heads and body parts inside
Like
as
Toy
like
Story?
a burial ground, like the scene from Man of Steel where he like sinks into the skulls. That
Well,
would've been really funny.
Toy Story did stuff like that where they had
Yeah,
like
Toy Story
fucked
did
up
that.
toys.
Toy
you
Story
know.
2, I think, yeah.
Mhm.
With Sid or whatever the fuck. He was,
Did
like,
yeah.
and yeah, he's just like a dick. But like, no, I actually did. Any of you guys collect like Batman figures? Do you know how
yeah.
many? Dude, they made hundreds of different. I still have them. There's like 50 of them. There's like Batman with all these different cool costumes and gadgets, and that was my main toy collecting when I was a kid. Is Batman figures. There's action figures, and like, dude, I don't know. I'm just like geeking out and being nostalgic. Whatever. I'm being a
How many
nerd.
Barbies did you have?
I had one Barbie. I had a lifeguard Barbie.
Come on, Lofty. How many Barbies did you have?
I had one Barbie. I would tell you if I had more. I'm not that insecure about my sexuality.
That's not a sexuality thing, I don't think.
Yeah.
At all.
No, I just had a lifeguard Barbie. I never had a Ken. I had a bunch of GI Joes. I had like a grenade launcher. I had fucking TNT dynamite stick. You know, I had cool stuff. But I mainly had Dragon Ball Z and Batman figures. Dragon Ball Z, dude. Oh my god, I have so many of those.
We're not talking about Dragon Ball Z, no. No. Not happening.
No, please
Yeah,
don't.
but they're
I'll
cooler
leave.
than Ken. To
I'm
be
leaving.
fair, Goku's cooler than Ken. Let's go. Let's just be honest.
To be
All right,
fair,
can we
Dragon
take
Ball
one?
Z is cringe.
Go fuck off. I'm gonna meet you in a.
agree.
That's
is
Oh,
fuck
my-
Dragon
Thank
Ball
you.
Z.
Oh, of course.
Oh,
the
I
I
British
want to hear
Thank you.
this
Cool
debate
show
in
is
Barbie.
boring.
Hold on.
I'm coming to the UK, Platoon. We're gonna meet in a parking lot somewhere. I'm gonna beat the fucking shit out of you.
I never understood Dragon Ball
Car
Z.
park, bro.
Every episode was what 2 seconds in the unit. I'm like, get to the fucking fight already. Why
Thank
do
you.
I have to watch 40 episodes to get to that for a
didn't
fight
get it.
that lasts 1
Yeah,
minute?
y'all just didn't.
Yeah,
get
man,
it.
you just
That's
don't
all.
get
No.
it, okay?
No.
Oh, one of
That
these
was a-
people. Oh, this excuse. Here it comes.
Sailor Moon was definitely better written and better. So yeah.
I never watched that because I was too busy watching Lego Ninjago.
Oh, the
Truly
very
cheap.
popular Lego Ninjago. That one. Yes.
Truly,
I've
Wait,
never
cheap
seen an episode of
children's.
Is
Dragon Ball
everybody
Z,
here?
to be honest, so.
Oh, you never have? Oh wow.
No.
Wait, is
It's
everybody
just
here
I
from
never
the
got
US?
into it. That's all. Like I'd seen I think an episode maybe when I was in kindergarten because it was always
Yeah.
back to back with Sailor
Mhm.
Moon.
Yeah.
Sailor Moon's
but
the bomb.
Yeah, it was just
Wait,
I never got
Is
into it.
everybody here besides Platoon from the U.S.?
I'm from
There's some
Canada.
Canadians.
Oh, Canada. Okay.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I'm half Canadian.
We can still bully Platoon.
Platoon, did you have Adult Swim and Cartoon Network in the UK? Is that a thing?
We
know
definitely
what
had
I'm talking-
Cartoon Network. I don't know about Adult Swim.
Oh, yo, this is new knowledge. So you had Cartoon Network in the UK.
Yeah, that's how I watched Gundam Wing.
Oh, Gundam Wing was the best!
Let's
Yeah.
go! Awesome.
My nickname was
Nadia.
Dua in high school. I love
So
Gundam.
Platoon just became a human being in my eyes. Finally, I just realized that you're a real person.
You all right, Platoon? You all right?
Ugh.
Nerds.
You have cred
Imagine.
now.
Gundam Wing was
Says the
cool.
guy who watched Lego Ninjago.
I know, right?
Oh, that was the
Lego
bomb.
Ninjago.
Bro, when it was revealed that Zane was a robot the entire time, oh my god.
I don't know what those
Revolutionary.
words mean, but okay.
I don't either.
That's a skill issue on your part. I don't know about you.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Gundam
No,
Wing, man, that's the bomb. I love that
Adult,
show.
Adult Swim was like what? Well, like Outlaw Star, Cowboy Bebop, Fullmetal Alchemist, I think.
Fullmetal
Anyway, that was
Alchemist
like
was
late
fun.
night television anime, darker anime.
If you want
Yeah.
dark anime, you go over to HBO at night. When they had their little anime hour,
Spawn.
at like midnight or
I
something.
like their weird
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, Spawn.
Yeah, I would
Spawn
stay
on
up.
HBO. I would stay up and watch
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I would
Sneak-
look for
sneak
boobs
it,
on
I would
HBO,
watch
you
it.
guys fucking Spawn.
Well, yeah, that came on
Boobs.
after Spawn. And, like you watch Spawn and then you watch Real Sex, like 32 or whatever the fuck it was.
What?
Very specific.
Did any of you guys? Now we're talking. Now speaking of Barbie, now Barbie is clearly every girl had Barbie or whatever growing up, or most girls. Now most boys, from my experience, were into Legos. How many of you guys were like obsessed with fucking Legos?
Never
still
got
am.
into Lego.
Obsessed.
Should I
like
pan
Legos.
my
Dude, what?
camera
Okay.
over?
You never got into
Do it.
Legos?
Never did.
Why? Why?
Because I couldn't see the point. It's
Wait,
like
how old are
open
you?
world games.
You're so
I
boring.
don't get it. It's like no. Like, I had like Gundam figures, I had Beyblades, and I had Pokemon toys and Robot
Oh,
Wars.
you'd rather
Oh.
you'd rather see a little disc spin than build your own toy.
Hold on.
God,
Okay,
you're
you
so
so-
have
boring.
no creativity? Is that it?
Yeah, you couldn't
Like,
build Lego. No. To be
I-
fair, most
I
most
wrote
people
a
don't.
I wrote a 600-page Pokemon novel when I was 9. No creativity.
Yeah.
man.
I'm not buying
And
it.
it was
I'm
all
not buying it.
porn.
Most,
how we get
anyway,
that
was all
published?
just
Actually,
porn.
I'm curious now.
well, anyway, most people that had Legos weren't creative. They just followed the instructions.
I still build Legos. I still
Yeah.
build Lego kits. Yeah.
No, to be fair, let's
That's
defend
cool.
Platoon for a second. He talked
No.
about his Pokemon obsession, and I just wanted to give him an A+ for that. 'Cause that's the best. I fucking love Pokemon, man. You don't even know, dude. I have a big, massive Pokemon card collection. I have a
Nerd.
PSA 9
Yeah.
Hollow First Edition Dark Dragonite Team Rocket Edition. So
Wow.
let's go.
You'd be in
Let's
that
go.
locker with Flaccid for sure in high school.
Yeah, we would.
It's okay though. Yeah, Lego. I didn't love Lego that much. Really, like it's. I don't know.
Y'all are
It's-
crazy.
My
Yeah,
brother
I
had
know.
How is that
Legos,
all?
so that's
Man.
why I played with them as well.
Sounds a lot like world building to me. So count me out.
A lot of
Yeah,
World War building.
Hey, did
while
you guys grow
all
up?
the, like small little children were playing with Lego, I was building like a robot for Robot Wars with this guy across the street because I was about 5.
Did that?
Yeah,
I
it's,
Okay.
yeah, it's Robot Wars is the UK equivalent of BattleBots.
Oh, we
Yeah,
had
it's
Robot Wars. Yeah, we had.
or
Yeah, we.
6,
Yeah.
I think it was. This guy like, was at
My
uni across
boyfriend's
the
been to
road,
that.
and he was building one, and my mum was friends with his mum, so I was welding shit for a robot with a circular saw, while you fucking little
Yeah, I can pretend the Lego
cigarettes
thing
Yeah.
now.
were building your little Lego toys. I was building killing machines, so screw you all.
BattleBots still are happening. They show up here in Vegas all the time.
I
always see a
still
sign
watch
for
it. It's a good
Yeah.
show. I like
I
it.
can never
BattleBots-
get. I can never
BattleBots was
see it.
cool. Yeah, BattleBots was sick.
Yeah.
Did anybody have Rumble Robots?
No.
Rumble Robots? Is anyone know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh
No.
no.
Was that a
Cool.
show or a product?
No, it's a product. No, dude, Robot Wars. And
I went
BattleBots.
outside
Oh.
to play a lot, so
That
excuse
too.
me.
You were not built.
That
Wait,
sounds
Platoon,
lame.
you were not building robots.
There are
Were you
photos
really?
of me
No, I
holding a
wasn't
welding
building out
iron
ro-
when I was 5.
I
Yes.
was climbing things and falling off of things. You know.
Are you an
Platoon, did you
engineer?
do,
Are
did
you
you
an
do
engineer?
robotics in high school?
No, I did. What did I even do in high school?
No, that was his fucking hobby. He just told you that.
Did crack?
Oh, so he's just a genius, just
Like
randomly.
other and smoked cigarettes like other
I
British
did.
people?
In high school, I did a weird mix of English literature, philosophy, and sociology, and PE.
Ugh. You're so disgusting.
Wait, what PE? What PE? What are you sport? Are you a sports guy? I'm a sports guy. What do you got?
Football, but actual football, not what you guys call football.
Oh,
So.
soccer.
Football.
Oh, he means
I played
soccer. Everybody.
I played soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also
volleyball.
played
Volleyball.
football.
Wait,
And Coach, I
played tennis.
do you still play soccer?
I played baseball, the real American sport.
Thank you.
Boy.
Oh,
Thank
so
you.
boring.
Thank you so
Such
much.
No, you didn't.
Baseball is so
Yes.
boring.
Baseball's so cool.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Wait, you did not play. You
baseball's
played
so
softball.
boring.
You played softball.
Stop, whatever.
Let's be real. Come on.
Slow pitch.
No.
Slow pitch.
Now,
Yeah.
wait, Platoon. Do you still play soccer?
I don't leave the house these days. I'm a YouTuber. What are you talking about?
He's a
I
degenerate.
haven't seen the sun in about 6 months.
Oh my
But
I just
would
watched
if
a
there was
5.5 hour
anyone
video on
around.
the Marvels from you, so
Isn't
I know
that
you're
England
inside.
though all the time? You don't see the sun for quite a long
We have
time.
a precious 2 months in the middle of summer when there is sometimes sun,
Mm.
and that's when I'll go out. But otherwise, no sun.
Unfortunate. Yeah, these
Basically,
days.
just fused into my chair at this point.
Yeah, I'm so tired of the no sun crap. Like it's
I get sun 24 hours. No, not 24 hours a day. I live in the
I know.
desert, so it's sun all the time.
It's got to be cold right now for you, Nadia. Isn't it?
It is. It's 52 degrees right now.
Do you live in Minnesota?
Whoa.
Where are you
What is-
from?
What is
Slow
that in
down.
real temperature?
Yeah.
Yeah, what is that in real temperature?
That's real temperature. I'm not.
No, the superior temperature. Come on, what is it?
I love baseball, White Cloaks.
I don't
You're
know what.
boobies.
What are you guys? Celsius, right?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit.
Dude.
We're Americans. We're the normal people here.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
set the standard.
11 degrees Celsius.
That's
Oh.
not cold.
Yeah,
Yeah,
No,
I
it's
think
not
mild
cold.
summer right
That's
there.
an English
Yeah.
summer.
That's I'm from Chicago. It gets colder than that, but I
Chicago
live
is
in Las Vegas now. So
To Lady B and
he's
I, that shit is freezing.
really, it's not like
I
probably
don't,
go out with a
guys, you
hoodie.
guys, like it was like I think it was 27 the other day, and I decided to go for a walk, and it felt like
27.
it was 17.
Yeah.
Platoon
sounds
is
disgusting.
11,
Listen,
and he's like,
the
oh,
desert
better
does get
put my-
cold.
It
It's
does
short
actually.
It does get cold.
I did I did a lot of race car training when I was or outside of Las Vegas, and I did it in the heat of August when it would be 120 plus in the
Race
car,
car.
and then I did it in the winter too, and it gets really cold. Like it would be 20 degrees down there sometimes. So
Lady B's a championship race car driver.
something like that.
True.
Lady B, write your memoir.
I
Yeah.
know.
I don't know how to.
Then they
You
can
have
make
a
it into
writer right
you've
here.
lived
Yeah.
like 10 lives and
I know. I have all these crazy
you're
stories.
and you're
Oh,
like
wow.
what, 24, 25?
I'm 42.
Nah, bullshit.
Yeah, I call bullshit on that too.
Yeah, I call complete bullshit on that.
I'm 900. I'm
There is
Methuselah.
no way, Lady
Methuselah.
B, you are past your 30s. There's no way.
No, I am. No, I am.
No
totally.
fucking way.
I'm an
If
80s
you are,
kid, earliest
then I
age.
need your skincare routine. Write it down.
You gotta fight.
There's no fucking way.
She got some really good facials. Last
Yeah.
Excuse me,
I
what?
did. I got facial.
Back up and say that real slow, Vex.
Back down. Repeat
My
yourself.
boyfriend got
I-
me a facial for my birthday. Like
I bet he
bet he
did.
did.
Uh-huh. Did he?
It's supposed to be really good
definitions of
moisturizing, I
that,
bet.
He's in the chat right now. He can
yeah,
verify
he
that.
is.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, we have
Definitions.
69 people watching right now.
69.
69
Hey.
people. Can we get a facial check?
Yes, yes. Let's do it. Let's do it.
At 420, me and Lofty will beach off each other.
Yeah, we'll beach off. I'll beach off. I already beached off. Wait, no, I don't have a fucking. I thought I was
Beach
gonna take my
off,
shirt off. I
yes.
can't.
I find the whole Kim thing
I don't-
like really funny when he's
Can't do
like,
it.
"I'm going to beach. I'm beach.
Yeah.
I'm just
I'm
beach.
Girl,
Guys,
I'm
are
just
you-
beach
I'm just
so
beach.
bad. I'm like just beach. Like just let me out. Just put me in the sand. Like
No
I'll
water?
get my clothes wet because that always happens, and just let me prance around and chase seagulls
I-
and throw rocks. in
Can
your
I
face.
ask you guys if you're excited for Gosling's new movie, The Fall Guy?
Yeah, actually it looks
Yes.
interesting.
looks
I'm
fun.
I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
literally name.
So here's the reason. Now, number one, it's directed by the guy who did the Bullet Train movie.
Mhm.
I
David
didn't really
Leitch.
like that.
Didn't
movie.
like it. Didn't love it.
Yeah.
A lot of people like it. That's fine.
Imagine being
you're
wrong.
welcome. You're welcome.
I was
Yeah.
I was disappointed.
Ma-
The marketing for it
Imagine
made it
having
seem
a
like it was
lofty
gonna be
take.
better. Yeah.
I know, right? That was
Dude,
one of my
yeah.
takes. That's one of my takes that people like really have a problem with for some reason.
Why
I don't
didn't
know
you like it? Out of curiosity.
because it was a derivative of every other like Tarantino, Guy
Mm.
Ritchie, Shane Black movie that's ever existed in the history of
It was a
cinema.
fanfic. That's what
It was literally, yeah, it's literally just not interesting. If you've seen, I don't know, maybe it's just where I'm coming from. I don't fucking know, man. It was
Lofty,
like,
you like Rings of Power, so let's
like-
get onto that for a
You
second.
like
yeah.
Rings of Power.
No, I don't like
Yeah,
Rings of Power.
Rings of Power
No,
was
that's what they
good.
said. That's what
Yeah.
I saw on
Ah!
Twitter.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
did
Stop
say that.
lying.
You did defend it.
I can't be Team
How?
Lofty if you liked Rings of Power. I'm out. So
Yeah,
Like,
It's
How
what
do
Twitter said.
that's for
So it's
Flaccid. He
true.
wants us
Twitter
fighting.
said it.
So
Twitter
I'll
said
bring, I'll bring back
Go
that.
we fight.
No, I just debated Chad one time about it, and I like took the devil's advocate route a little bit too hard.
How dare you? How dare you try to...
Shadiversity. Look, Shadiversity. If you debate that guy, you kind of have to. You have no choice. That guy goes really hard in the other direction. But no, I thought the first episode was visually interesting and creative, and I thought it could get better, and it just failed. It didn't get better; it got worse.
Lofty took a knee. That's what happened. So Lofty took a knee, and he just got rucked over by Platoon.
that show was so boring.
Bro,
Just
keep
beached
in
off.
mind.
It
Keep
was.
in mind.
I
Wait, the
just wanted
context.
everyone to die.
Keep in mind, guys. Like everybody forgets. This is the meme that like people forget the context, right? This is before that I was aware. Anybody was aware of all of the things that they fucked up about the story. This was like episode 1. So, like, you know, nobody was aware of the whole fucking mithril bullshit.
They kind of
The whole-
were. I did
No,
the whole
no,
like
Gary,
2.5
I
hour
didn't read the
video.
spoilers.
2.5
It's not my
hour
fault.
video. I didn't read spoilers. I just watched
Yeah.
the episode. It's ooh, yeah.
No, but
I
no,
think-
but no, but
There we
there
go,
was
that's better.
always a possibility that there was a bait and switch with the mithril, and you know, I didn't know for sure.
What
I don't
Mithril? I
fucking
forgot
know.
that movie.
And
Or that show.
Amazon
actually,
is
it
so
broke
weird.
enough in episode 1, but it broke way more later on. So like,
It
we
did-
didn't
it
know
did, it
exactly
did.
how much it would break, but that it had already broken stuff. I'm just looking forward to season 2 when they have to do the genocide of all the diverse characters in order to link into the Peter Jackson films. That'd be really fun.
I don't think they can't
It's
legally
not.
train to those,
It's not
right?
canon with the Jackson films.
It wants to, but it can't, right?
It's not.
No, they're
I
going to
won't even
remake
different
those
universe.
films to fit Rings of Power.
Why is this so hard for people to understand? How come whenever there's like a prequel, like Wonka, people are like, "Oh, it must be a prequel to the Gene Wilder version." It's not.
Because if you set it on the basis that it is a prequel, then it's fair to assume that it is
No.
you know, a prequel.
No, it's a reboot.
It's
I
not
don't
a
understand.
reboot.
It is a reboot.
Something that's
It's
never
a
been
re-
put on television before.
It's an adaptation of the Second Age based on Amazon's fucking tiny little whatever version
I
of it.
know, like, what
Which
it
they
is.
thought
were
it was
very,
based on-
very,
Wait, what are we
very
talking
keen
about?
to
Are we talking
establish.
about
Rings of
Wonka or are
Power.
we talking about
But
Rings of
I
Power?
don't
Rings of
know. We're talking
Power.
about Rings
Both
of Power.
like
I
Rings
don't.
of Power.
It's
Amazon
not a
went out of
prequel.
its way to bill it as a prequel.
but
Amazon
it's-
leaked. Amazon was putting out press stuff saying, "Oh yeah, we're actually talking to Peter Jackson about how to do this kind of thing," and then it turns out they weren't after all. Like the whole thing about Rings of Power was that it was a prequel. It's supposed to be an adaptation of the first and bits of the
Well,
second age.
I
It's a
guess I'm
prequel.
higher
Everything
level
about
being
it is
than
a
you guys, 'cause
prequel.
I never thought that, and apparently I'm right because they confirmed it. So
What?
It's still
wait, what?
garbage writing.
It's
It's
not a
still
fucking
garbage
prequel!
performance. So
If you're adapting something which you claim is lore accurate
do you
because
think
you bought the
Dune-
rights to it,
do you- what-
and then you
so-
say,
so-
well,
so-
we're going to change everything, and then the other lore accurate thing, which may have been made by a different studio, but nevertheless was also what everyone considers to be lore accurate. Are you telling me that adapting the Silmarillion is
Yes.
not ever going to be seen as a prequel
No.
to an adaptation of the Lord of the Rings?
No, it's just an adaptation of the Silmarillion.
It's
Which is
not
a
an
prequel to the Lord of the
adaptation.
Rings.
It's a prequel
Hold
to
up,
the Lord of the
hold
Rings
up,
novels.
hold
Peter
up.
Jackson
I've
was
been
over
doing
films.
a Silmarillion
I don't know
book
what you're
stream
talking about,
actually, and
It's a prequel to the
I have
novels.
got I got.
But it's not
through-
even connected to the novels. The novels are their own
Yeah.
canon.
It's not like
Oh.
It changes so much. It's
what
clearly
they
not canon.
adapted.
Wait,
like
wait a
to-
minute. Hold on.
It's a
It's not
prequel.
the
Hold on,
Silmarillion.
hold on. Yes or no? Is Rings of Power canon with the novels? Yes or no?
No,
Absolutely
because
not.
it breaks everything.
Okay, so it's wait. So it's not canon with the novels. Therefore, it's likely not canon with the Peter Jackson trilogy.
that's
why-
absurd. That's
Why?
like saying
Why?
with Star Wars, I'm going to go back 5 years before the prequels.
No,
and
Disney has
I'm
already
going to
established
introduce
they
a
use Han
character,
Solo.
and I'm going to introduce a character called Darth Vader 10 years before the prequels, and he's
No,
going to be a
it's
gay lame
oh,
woman,
oh, so-
and
oh,
he's
so-
going to die before Episode 5.
Oh, so Platoon.
That's not.
So the David Lynch Dune and the Villeneuve Dune are the same fucking universe? What's your point? They can't remake the same products. They can't remake the same story and reboot it and change it. Why are you saying that's not a possibility?
If the sales prospectus of the show
What
is that we
sales
have bought Amazon sales prospectus for Rings of Power is we have spent $1 billion, a substantial portion of which is to get the rights to second and first age material. And we are going to leak that we are talking to Peter Jackson, and we're going to make sure that we're going to write the story that Tolkien never could. Everything about this is billed as a prequel, as an adaptation of the Silmarillion. Of course it's not, but that's because it's shit and it breaks everything. But to say that something is a bad adaptation, therefore it can't be in the same canon, is a damnation of the show you're talking about.
No. I know. I'm saying it's not in the same canon because it's not in the same canon, not because it's bad. Also, it's
bad because it's not in the same canon.
It's not. I'm
It's
right.
not,
I'm correct. It's not a prequel to the Peter Jackson trilogy. You can look this up. It's literally a terrible adaptation of the Tolkien Second Age. That's all it is.
And if it were not a terrible adaptation, then it would be a prequel to the Jackson films because they were pretty good, close to the lore adaptations.
Based on what?
Yeah,
based on
I think we're missing a point here.
canon?
So I asked people what actually they didn't adapt.
If they don't agree with me, they're
rights
wrong.
to anything in the Silmarillion. Okay, there's nothing there. It's like parts of the index,
the appendices
like,
for the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, so it's a few little things that just also happen to be in there because I just covered the Numenor stuff, and I was just like, what the heck? Like,
dude, people. The only reason I'm saying this is because so many fucking people are like, "Oh, it ruins the Peter Jackson trilogy." No, it fucking doesn't. The Peter Jackson trilogy is a completely different canon. It's not a prequel to the Peter Jackson trilogy.
It aspires to be a prequel to the Peter Jackson trilogy.
Not, though. You
are making the same reference to the same lore. The Peter Jackson film do a pretty good job of hovering close to that lore. The closer you get to that lore, the more of a prequel you are. The fact that the Rings of Power broke the lore in every conceivable respect does not mean it does not aspire to be a prequel, given it's referring to the same set of events. It just means it's really, really incredibly shit and accidentally breaks everything. Of course, functionally, it's not a prequel, because it can't be, because they broke with continuity.
It's a reboot.
It's not a reboot. You can't reboot something that's never been on screen before.
It's a reboot of the universe, dude.
Hold up.
Do you know what a universe is, right?
It's not a reboot of the universe, given that it refers to so many of the same events.
Right, but so does Dune. So does the modern adaptation of Dune, which is the David Lynch 70s film, as they refer to the same events.
But that's not comparable.
Yes, it is.
It's absolutely not comparable.
The Ring of Power is in both shows.
Dude, listen, it's so simple. They're both different adaptations of the source material.
Different adaptations of the same source material is different than adaptations of different parts of the same source material. That's just a logical truism.
Right, but realistically, Amazon could go into the Third Age if they wanted to, and it would be different. I'm just saying, it's not a prequel to the Peter Jackson movies. If Amazon wanted to, they could do a Third Age adaptation.
If you're telling me that you are adapting events from the Silmarillion, which is what Rings of Power said, then you are aspiring to adapt a prequel to any other film which attempts to put the J.R. Tolkien lore on the screen. That is just how this works. If you are not readapting the Lord of the Rings, you are saying we are looking at the same source material that Peter Jackson looked at, and we are setting it before those films, and we are telling you that we are going to put J.R. Tolkien's Silmarillion on the screen, the First and Second Age on the screen, and you're doing a terrible job of that. You are doing a prequel badly. You are not doing a prequel.
But there's a difference between a prequel adaptation of the novel and a prequel adaptation of a prior canon event in the Jackson trilogy.
This isn't fucking Marvel. There's no canon events in this. There's no fucking multiverse.
If there could be, if they said that the Gandalf in Return of the Rings of Power was the same Gandalf as Ian McKellen, that would be a direct.
But it is. It's supposed to be. It's Gandalf from the Lord of the Rings.
Listen, it ain't Ian McKellen.
Hold on.
It ain't Ian
I
McKellen.
have a question.
I can't even believe this. This is crazy to me. It's like I don't know, man. This is crazy. Its own adaptation of the original.
You've done this in a different debate that I can't remember what it was. What do you define a prequel as, and what do you define a reboot as? Just to maybe there's a difference of definition here. That's not getting through.
So a prequel would be, we are adapting the Second Age, but everything in this story, i.e., Rings of Power, takes
No,
place.
I mean, like just
before-
not just Lord of the Rings specific. I mean, like in
Yeah.
general, what would you like classify as a prequel or define, and what would you
for example, Apple TV could come out and do a Darth Vader reboot of the story of Darth Vader, right?
Mm-hmm.
And his rising and his Anakin Skywalker, and they could say, "Oh, this is not in the same universe as the George Lucas films. This is our interpretation of Darth Vader's story." Those are two. This is so obvious to me. Like, this is what's happening with Rings of Power. It is not a prequel to the events of Lord of the Rings, the Peter Jackson.
What is a prequel,
films.
though? Is what I'm asking.
A prequel is in the same canon. So if you're talking about the canon of Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson, the canon of the flashbacks in the first 5 minutes of the Fellowship of the Ring, when they do the down, Isildur cuts off Sauron's ring and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
If they did that exact same thing in Rings of Power, it would be a prequel in canon event to the Lord of the Rings. I don't know how this is so fucking hard to understand. This is so
because there's no canon events in the Lord of the Rings. This isn't the MCU. There are no incursions from a multiverse. You bought the rights. Amazon bought the rights to the appendices. They use the names, they use the places, they use the events. They at the Forging of the Rings of Power. It's the origin story of Sauron. The whole the whole sales prospectus is this is a prequel to the Lord of the Rings. That's what they were buying when they put this thing on television.
It's a prequel to the Lord of the Rings novel.
But it's not a prequel to the Lord of the Rings novels because they broke the entire continuity.
Right. They also broke the continuity of the Peter Jackson trilogy,
which makes it a bad prequel, not a prequel.
Well, then I guess it's also a prequel of the novels. It's a bad prequel.
It's a prequel in the sense that allegedly
you're crazy. It's not a prequel of the novels. It's a television show.
What?
Nuts, man. This is wild. I think I'm being punked. I think I might be being punked.
You know what? It was bad writing. It was a bad show. We're done with it.
No, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm not getting clear definition of what you think.
There's a contingent of people that think that the Rings of Power is a prequel to in canon prequel to the Lord of the Rings Peter Jackson trilogy. And therefore, just like the sequel trilogy of the Star Wars movies, it fucking ruins everything about the original. I've heard people say this, they're like, I can't watch the original trilogy again, the Star Wars trilogy, because I know where it ends up, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, those people are fucking gay, but whatever. Now, these people are saying the same thing. No, they're saying the same thing about the Peter Jackson movies. Like, oh, Rings of Power is a prequel to the Peter Jackson films, therefore now the fact that we know where it came from.
I don't care about those people. Write them off as gay. It's fine. They're stupid. I don't care.
Yeah, they're gay.
What I'm talking about is Amazon explicitly bought the rights to do a prequel to the Lord of the Rings by buying the rights to the prequel to the Lord of the Rings, and you're telling me it's not supposed to be a prequel to the Lord of the Rings.
Did they buy the rights to the Peter Jackson trilogy?
Yeah, they bought the appendices. It was the same source material that Peter Jackson's films were using because it's supposed to be an adaptation of the novels.
That's exactly what I'm saying. It's not a prequel to the film trilogy. It's a prequel. It's a prequel adaptation.
But the Peter Jackson films are adaptations of the novels.
Right. It's a
something isn't a prequel to one. It's not a prequel to the other.
Look, there's been 2 adaptations of The Last Airbender. The one is shitty, and the other one's coming out. They're not in the same canon universe. They're two. Same with Dune. There's been 2 adaptations of the novel.
But that's a reboot.
Not a
prequel. Why wouldn't Rings of Power why wouldn't Rings of Power be considered a reboot, just starting at a different time?
So if Denis Villeneuve came out and said he's doing Dune Messiah or Children of Dune or God Emperor Dune, and was like, I'm just going to do this story, I'm going to skip Dune Part 1, you would just assume that it's a sequel to the David Lynch films? What the fuck are you talking about?
No, I'd assume it's a sequel to the part of the book that he explicitly said he wasn't going to do.
That's what I'm saying.
That's not what you're saying, because you're telling me that a prequel to a novel can't be a prequel to a television show, or indeed a movie. Which is
a question for Lofty
here.
Give me an example of that happening.
Lofty.
Rings of Power.
No, give me another example.
Well, no, we're talking about Rings of Power. That's the proximate example.
Holy fuck. Are you telling me that Rings of Power is officially yes or no a prequel in the canon of the cinematic
What's
universe.
a prequel?
I just want to know
You guys
what a
are all being
prequel is.
retarded.
That's
Like,
all.
honestly, I don't even know what you're talking. Like, are you telling me that what do you mean? What is a prequel? It's like saying what's the color blue? Like, what the fuck?
No, but like I just want a blanket definition. What is a prequel by your standard?
It takes place before something, and it will lead into that thing.
So, like, for example, just as a wild, completely out of the blue example, Galadriel meeting Sauron and them forging the Rings of Power, which leads into the Lord of the Rings, where the Rings of Power feature.
Right.
Might just hypothetically be a prequel.
But to be fair, that leads into both the books and the Peter Jackson trilogy at the
And
same
those
time,
things are
correct?
functionally the same
Correct?
thing.
But they're not all canon with each other, correct?
No, incorrect. The Peter Jackson films are an attempt to put the canon of the books on film.
No, the Peter Jackson films are different. The Arwen has her whole Glorfindel fuck up.
They are an attempt.
They're different canon. You're fucking crazy.
They're not different canon. They are an attempt to put the canon of the Lord of the Rings on screen.
When you talk about a Lord of the Rings fans being strict canonists, when you say, "Oh, what the fuck?" When Peter Jackson completely obliterated the whole Tom Bombadil entire storyline, you're not saying that.
That's a really useful example, right? Because the criticism of that is that the Lord of the Rings films by Peter Jackson are doing canon incorrectly.
They're not
that they are
canon
not
books.
doing canon. The whole point of the film, the point of that criticism is that those films are attempting to put the books on the screen, and critics who are fans of the book said, you didn't do it properly. That does not make it not canon. That makes it a bad attempt at canon. In the same way that Rings of Power is not canon, it is a bad attempt at canon.
It's also not canon. It's also not canon.
May I interject with some nuance?
One Piece fans, please, for the love of God.
Nuance, you dumbass. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That being said, I've been told that the indexes are not Lord of the Rings canon.
What if I said?
One Piece fans in the audience, One Piece fans. Would you say that the Netflix adaptation of One Piece is canon with the fucking anime? Are you fucking no? You would agree. You would say it's an adaptation. No. You would say it's a non-canon adaptation of the source.
Well, that's what an adaptation is.
Yeah.
You're adapting something for a different medium.
That's what I'm saying. Now you're agreeing with me.
Okay, so let's throw the idea. Let's throw the words reboot
Why are we
and prequel out, and just say it's an adaptation.
Yes, that means
what it
non-canon. It's the same thing. It's
adaptation does not mean non-canon.
Jurassic Park and Blade Runner are nothing like the original novels. They're not canon with the novels.
Yeah, because they're adaptations.
They're their own thing.
I'm starting to lose touch of the basic meaning of words. Adaptation does not mean non-canon. By definition, you are adapting canon.
No, when you have a canon,
adapting means you take one thing from one medium and you put that thing in another medium. It doesn't mean you take one thing from one medium, then you throw it out the window, and whatever you put on the screen is irrelevant. That's not an adaptation. That's something else entirely.
Okay, there are examples, though, of, for example, video games that have movie adaptations or anime adaptations that are in canon, right? That are in canon with the story.
But what? Okay. Would you call that an adaptation, then? If it's just a continuation of the story?
Like, for example, right? You have... No, actually, I don't even know. Maybe this is... What do we know if the Star Wars Visions anime is supposed to be canon?
It's canon.
Okay. So that's an example of... Are we sure about that? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's an example of a canonical... Well, that's a bad example. Like Clone Wars cartoon is probably a better example, right? So the Clone Wars cartoon is a canon adaptation in a different medium that connects with the original source material in a way that everything's canon, everything flows, right? Everything flows.
Well, it doesn't, but that's because they don't do canon correctly, which is kind of the point.
No, but when you talk about, guys, when we're talking about the Lord of the Rings canon, nobody's referencing the movies. Nobody's referencing The Hobbit. Nobody's referencing Peter Jackson. We're talking about Tolkien's canon. Tolkien's canon.
In the
Tolkien
same
has
way as with the Clone Wars, you're
finite-
referencing George Lucas's
yeah,
canon.
but Tolkien has a finite canon. Peter Jackson is not canonical with Tolkien. It's complete. It's an adaptation.
Yeah, an adaptation of canon.
Yeah, but
this is what an adaptation is.
I feel like
an adaptation is
he
just
doesn't know what a round Earth is.
okay, fine. An adaptation is quite literally in terms of the actual meaning of words. An adaptation is you are taking one thing in a medium and you are putting the same thing in a different medium.
Bro, let me
you
ask you
can
this.
do it badly, in which case it's a bad adaptation of canon.
Is Aragorn the same Arwen in the Tolkien canon and the Peter Jackson canon? Are they the same? Are they the same Arwen?
No, they're not, because that's the whole point of the criticism of the Lord of the Rings by diehard book fans, is that they don't do canon correctly, not that they're not doing canon.
Even if they name one example, name an example of anything ever that has adapted it to screen that is in canon with the original source material.
You are confusing. You are confusing canon with 1-to-1 absolute 100% fidelity with the source of your adaptation.
It's important that we establish canon.
Sequels,
in terms of nerd culture.
by your argument, most sequels are not canon,
Not
including the Star Wars original trilogy, for example. When there are plenty of events in Return of the Jedi which conflict with the events of Empire Strikes Back. You're not going to tell me, though, I hope, that Return of the Jedi isn't canon.
No.
Oh my God, we're still on this.
No.
Okay.
If you make a sequel, like all of it, like for example, every Lord of the Rings book is a sequel. Like so is The Hobbit, and so is those are all in canon. Like we have a Tolkienian canon. Can we agree on this?
Which the Peter Jackson films were adapting.
Yes, but it's not part of the same canon. It's creating its own.
Oh god.
I feel like this could be explained really easily if we had like an
adaptation-
MS Paint diagram.
An adaptation is an attempt to do as close as possible a 1-to-1 transposition of the canon of one medium
but it's automatically
to
a
the other
different
medium.
canon. It's automatically
It's not automatically a different canon. No.
Yes.
It's not, because you're confusing the plain meaning of the word adaptation.
Jurassic Park is a different Jurassic Park than the novel, right? They're two different things. The Jurassic Park novels have their own canon. They have their own storyline. They have their own character consistency. They have their own universe. Same with the Dark Knight. The Dark Tower. Any Lord of the Rings, Chronicles of Narnia. When you get into film and television adaptations, they create their own alternate universe, parallel universe.
Not
canon.
always and not necessarily.
Yes.
You're making
Yes.
it's not the case.
I don't even know what you're talking about, dude.
The difference
make any
between an
sense.
adaptation and something that isn't an adaptation. It's not that hard.
So when you have a contradiction, like Arwen summoning the water horses instead of Glorfindel and Elrond and Gandalf, what's canon and what's not canon? Give me the definitive canon versus the definitive not canon.
The definitive canon in that because the films are an adaptation
canon?
of the books. I'm answering the question.
Okay, go ahead.
Because the films are an adaptation of the books are the definitive canon.
Yes.
There is, however, a difference between poorly adapting canon and doing something which is not canonical. You can criticize the Peter Jackson films for not doing canon correctly. That is not to say that they are not aspiring to the same canon. This is not a hard point to get your head around.
No, they're aspiring aesthetically. I understand.
It's not aspiring aesthetically. They're aspiring in terms of fidelity to plot, story, and character as well.
You can't give me a single example ever of anything doing canon 1-to-1. It just doesn't exist.
Because I don't need to, because I said earlier that the point of criticizing something which fails to adapt canon is that it's failing to adapt canon, not that it is not canonical.
But it's not canonical. If we have anything, as a fan of something, we have to understand. We have to all be in agreement of what is canonical and what is not canonical. If something falls out of the canon, outside of the canon, that is not canonical, it's not canonical.
Are the Peter Jackson films more or less canonical than Rings of Power?
No, they are a very accurate parallel world.
They're not a fucking... Fuck me.
Yes, they are!
Oh my goodness. How hard you work to avoid the point.
Yeah. I feel like we're going in.
Wait, I'm not working. They're not canon with the books, dude.
I think I've probably exhausted this point between the difference between poorly adapting canon and not being canonical. I'm happy to let that stand. and it's coming up to 6:30 a.m. So
Yes,
unless there's
we
anything
gotta
else you need
I
to
don't
plug.
understand.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to agree to disagree. Like, this is just too crazy.
We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to have a third
We
fight.
don't have to do that
That's
because
right.
I'm just right logically and etymologically, but you can disagree.
I'm
if you
right
like,
logically and etymologically as well. So I can say big word.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's set up the date. Fight night.
Let's we need to let Mr. Platoon go get some sleep. So as much fun as this is, and I keep it going all night, and at this point now, especially, we gotta call it a night. We'll have everyone back. If
I
they
got
like to come
chat
back.
support. That's all I gotta say.
You know what? Flaccid has your back like last time. Way
True,
back.
and I have your
Yeah.
back because
Yeah.
I am flaccid.
You performed much better than he did. You actually talked.
I did. Listen.
This is where we need backdoor Gary to bring it full circle.
We're talking about Barbie. We're talking about Rings of Power. What the fuck is this about?
Listen, it's like last
Yeah, the
time
Rings
we
of
talked about
Power was what
Oppenheimer.
brought up the fight.
Hey, Rings
I
of Power
don't
is
even know why
way
I'm here. I have no idea
entertaining.
why I'm here anymore.
Me neither. I just wanted to troll.
Yeah.
Well,
Get my
let's
popcorn.
yes, it's time. I kept you guys late already, and plus I was late to start, so that's all on me. I apologize for that to the chat and to especially the panelists who were so patient hanging out here, waiting for this show to get going. And a little Platoon, you're early morning there now, so we need to get you out of here.
Nocturnal.
sir.
Nocturnal.
The annoying thing is I would happily stay up and carry on. It's just I think I shouldn't because I really do. Like theoretically, people need sleep.
Theoretically.
Theoretically. Such a British thing to say.
Yeah, but you're not a person, so it's fine.
I'm not tired. I actually want to carry this going. I really think I should be in
No,
bed.
nocturnal animals need sleep. We have to be aware of
Listen,
this.
just
They
take a
sleep during
drag
the
on
day.
your cigarette and you'll be fine.
I've been doing that all damn evening.
Well, crack open another pack, baby.
We can definitely run this back again in the future.
No, I don't
and-
want to.
No, let's do it, Lofty, for sure.
No, I
no,
want
no,
to.
no, no, no.
This is
I don't
fun.
like semantic arguments.
This is good
It's so
stuff.
cringe. Oh god.
No, this is fun.
This is great stuff. This is awesome. This is what people want.
Look.
I
To
want
be fair,
this.
guys. Whoever is paying attention, when I argue people, I don't take anything personally. I'm just hyper focused on my point. I don't care what anybody disagrees with.
passionate,
I still
Lofty.
like
You're
Platoon.
passionate.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, let's just call it that. Let's just
Yeah.
call it that. Yeah.
So that is fair. I need to read this out before we let people go. Common People for $5. Thank you very much. Says, why did the Rings of Power showrunners say go back to the books, go back to the books, go back to the books?
Well, they were lying.
Oh, we gotta come back and do this.
We're
We
not-
gotta
we're
come
not
back and
doing
do
this.
this.
We're not doing this
Yeah.
for another hour.
No, we're not running.
Lofty, what were they lying about, Lofty?
I knew it.
Season 2 of Rings of Power is
I'll
season
throw you a bun. I'll
3
throw you a
of
bun.
Lofty v Platoon.
I'll throw you a bun. They were lying about caring about the books.
Uh-huh.
I think we can all agree about that.
Why
Yep.
would they
Yes,
say go
they
back to the
don't
books
care.
then if they were lying about caring about the books?
Vex, you're
Well,
instigating
no.
now.
Yes.
Pretend
agree.
like
I
they
agree.
read
No. If this is unclear, I agree they were trying to adapt the books in a way that they thought was consistent. I'm just saying when you do an adaptation of something,
Oh, my
it automatically disconnects from the canon. It just does by being an adaptation. It's not part of the canon anymore.
So then, what are Peter Jackson's
try
Lord
to
of the
be-
Rings movies? Are those
They're
not
their own
canon, or
canon.
not?
You're not canon with the novels. Arwen didn't do her bullshit. Fanor didn't do his bullshit. You know, there's so much bullshit that happens in the movies that didn't happen
Movies
in
are
the
better
books.
than the books.
One of them is canon and one of them is not. The
Just
books are
That's my
canon.
words.
How am I wrong? Like, what the fuck? I don't understand. Chat.
I feel like the answer to your question was contained in your answer about what they were lying about, but I don't think you've quite spotted that yet. But we can leave that till the next
Believe it,
part.
believe it.
Yes.
Lofty is correct. What can I
This
say?
is-
He's
this-
just
what-
right all the time.
I'm going to play this, and this is going to answer Lofty's question.
The sea is always right.
God, it looks like a high school
See?
play.
Wait,
The
hold
sea
on.
came up and swallowed Dumbledore. Was it right?
It was
Question.
right.
Even
Wasn't
there's a
there
better
young
one when the
Aragorn?
sea drowns what's his name's wife. his wife has died because she drowned in the sea, but the sea was right? So actually,
Rip Bozo.
yeah. Fuck his
Wasn't
wife.
there a young Aragorn in Rings of Power?
There was his dad?
No, there's
Isildur.
Elendil and Isildur are in there, but they're
Elendil.
not supposed to be for another 2,000 years, but they are in there.
That's why it's not
So
canon.
doesn't that technically make it a
Oh man.
prequel?
Make it not canon.
Listen, I just need to get a couple. If we're
All
gonna
right,
do
I
this,
need to get the fuck out of here.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Chat, don't worry. We're going to be having this conversation after stream. It's just not going to stop. It's just
No,
going to
we're
be
not. No,
Platoon
we're
and
not. I have to
Lofty
pee.
in this call for the next 12 hours.
No.
Yes.
Oh, wait.
After stream, I become
Bro.
base.
5-hour stream. Did that
I
last
want
year.
to lock Lofty and Platoon in a room.
No, I would. He would feed me a bunch of horrible
Schrodinger's
food,
arguments.
Horrible
Either
British
they're both
food, and I
dead
would
or
starve to
something
death.
else happened.
I fucking hate. I don't know. Let's go. Let's fight.
All right.
Let's
So
fight.
Little Platoon, you just released your Marvels video, and so I want to say something quick before I forget. Is if you're gonna watch his premieres, because he's actually in the chat. He's super active with everyone the entire time I was there.
That's true.
I have a wrench now there, so I was saying that the whole time, and I'm just saying.
Why'd you
just
do
saying,
that?
I'm saying I have a wrench.
That was so
And so-
stupid.
He's the whole time interacts with everyone. It was pretty. It's awesome to see. So, and he's on channels like this, which I couldn't be more thankful for. So, thank you for being here, Little Platoon. And Marvel's video is much better than the movie, which I'll never watch, and I don't need to now. So
It's also like 4 times longer than the movie, so you get more for your money.
Wait,
yeah,
dude,
more.
That's awesome.
were you in the
No,
chat the
it's-
whole time?
yeah, I'm always in the
Yeah.
chat the whole
Yeah.
time.
the whole time.
Oh, do you hate watching your videos back or no? No.
I'm
Well, if you
thinking-
watch his videos, you might know that, Lofty.
To be fair,
Called
I
out.
edited. Wait. To be fair, I edited like 2.5 hours of that shit, and I hated watching
Yeah,
it
that
back.
shit
with the
god
passion.
awful. Holy shit.
But I'm
fair.
just curious what you think.
No, it's great. It's always this bum on your seat moment. Like the thing I found funny, is it going to land? Like it's really just a case of are my jokes landing? The video,
okay.
it's okay. I don't mind watching it back. There's bits that I can look at and think that could be better, but most of it's just I thought
see.
this bit was fun. Is it fun? Oh yeah,
Right,
it is.
so it's-
So that's good.
It's audience interaction. That's the best part.
Also, how long can I keep people chained in their seats is another interesting question. It's like, will people sit through 5.5 hours of video? Oh fuck, they will. They have no lives. We're one and the same. We are kin.
It's true. There was like 3 grand of people like constantly paying
Yep.
attention.
It's true.
Wow.
I had a whole workout while it was going on. It
That's
was worked
awesome.
well for me, so no complaints. What's up next for
Thank having
you?
me. Yeah, no, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. Next, I don't really know. It'll be Rebel Moon and or Aquaman, but I haven't seen either yet, so I don't know. But yeah, otherwise there's a couple
Sorry
of
about
like
that.
I know what a Christmas I've got to look forward to. But yeah, otherwise there's short bits of longer videos that go out on my second channel, which is Lost Chord. So if you don't like the full 5.5 hour thing, but you want to hear me elicit a final solution to women, then the second channel is for you.
Oh my goodness.
And all of his links are in the description, so that's Lost Chord. You also have a live stream that you would do with Cynic.
Oh, well, you say that. It's been about 3 months, but
Allegedly.
Cynic's got some stuff going on, but hopefully he'll be back soon, and as soon as he's in a place to continue, we shall pick it up again.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. This has been awesome. Copa, you got to go too?
Yep.
Cope Dog?
Cope dog. Yeah, Zach dog. I gotta go.
Get pimp your stuff.
Good night, Copa.
Yeah, I got a best of video of 2023, a
Anyways.
worst of video of 2020. You, Zach?
Maybe.
Yep.
Zach.
Dude, what's up with you, man? Every time I pimp my shit, you cut me off.
Do I?
Yeah.
I don't know. Gimmick, I guess.
Okay. Anyways, Friday I'm doing a live stream, and then I'm probably either going to do the same with either Rebel Moon or I'm not doing Aquaman 2. Fuck that movie. Doing Rebel
I
Moon.
got you, Adam. I got you.
It's the end of the DCEU. We get to watch it die in misery.
Oh, should I do it for Adam?
You draw a compelling argument, but yeah. So
You're
that's
onto
what I
the
got up
fucking-
for.
The lead actor in the film, before the film comes out, says, "Yeah, it's not looking good."
Yeah, that really sells me.
Nadia, thank you for coming on.
Yes, this was a lot of fun.
That's like wait. That's like when Hugh Grant was like, I didn't really want to do this Wonka movie. I tried to get out of it. The interviews. I just did it for the money. He said this. He fucking said that, man. He didn't want to do the Wonka movie. He did it for the money. He didn't want to in interviews.
What?
I swear to God, that movie is terrible, but maybe I'm wrong. So I'm always
he
wrong
came
about
off
something.
like that for the D&D. If you went to go see the D&D movie in theaters and where the actors were thanking you, he obviously did not want to be there.
Dude,
It
that
was
is
quite
the
obvious.
worst. It's the worst movie of the year.
The D&D
Apparently,
movie?
other people. No, Wonka. Apparently,
Oh.
other people. It's
the
so fucking terrible. And I have a massive musical theater background. Like I tried so hard to like this movie, and it's not.
Lofty
even,
a theater
it's terrible.
kid? No.
Yeah. So anyway, it's like it took the
Consistent.
worst parts of Les Mis and Sweeney Todd, it like mashed them together, and it fucking ruined everything about it.
Pass.
But anyway, go ahead and continue.
Now,
I just
tell us
fucking
about
hate
Inside Out-
Wonka.
Yes.
Don't
Oh,
watch Wonka. Go.
I'm gonna watch Wonka now.
Oh my god. I don't know where I'm at.
Mystery.
It's probably a
Reverse
prequel
psychology.
too, so I think I might enjoy that.
Is it canon?
It's not a prequel. It's nothing.
Guys,
these
Lofty,
are
no,
two
Lofty,
different
no.
characters.
Listen, Lofty, I'm holding you back.
Timothy
Yep.
Chalamet.
So bad.
Oh,
I'm fucking everywhere.
All right. Okay.
Inside All Day. We just dropped our video on Muppet Christmas Carol. We have one more video for the year coming out. And then I just dropped my Braveheart first watch reaction, and I will be doing Tombstone next.
Nice.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I gotta watch that.
Andrew,
Yo,
are you still here?
yeah.
Nice.
Probably doing Rebel Moon, because that's gonna be the worst Star Wars movie ever made. And then Aquaman, because I want to watch the DCEU burn.
Oh God.
No.
Yeah,
Unless they're actually good, which is low chance, but
sure.
It can't be worse than Flash, right?
that's true. It cannot be worse than Flash.
I liked The Flash, but that's another debate.
Oh God.
Oh, okay.
Who did that? Who said that?
Finally, I get
Nadia, someone kick her.
Next.
somebody gets
Next.
worse than me on this stream.
Next.
Mhm.
Hi,
You
what's
like
going
the
on?
Flash, Nadia? I thought we were one and the same.
Gosh.
I
Girl.
actually I have
Bro.
reasons. I have reasons.
The Flash made me want to shoot Ezra Miller in the head.
God. Okay,
Yeah.
well,
I wanted to
someone
do
in
that
chat
beforehand.
requested that I
Beforehand,
drew Florence Pugh's boobs.
Yeah, I wanted to see
Oh,
what
here
they
we go.
look like.
There's
Oh.
Florence.
Oh
Pugh's
yeah,
boobs.
yeah. They got
Ah!
the
So she has the
Those
Hershey
are-
tip nipples.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
a little
weird as fuck.
sideways.
That's the scale.
They look like two worn out shoes. That's what they look like.
Guys,
not-
boobs are boobs, okay?
Boobs are boobs.
No, boobs aren't boobs. Those aren't boobs.
If I close my eyes and feel them,
boobs.
they're boobs.
Weird directions.
Lofty.
Yeah, what about me?
Let Vex talk.
No, other than that, I'm actually going to go see Aquaman tomorrow. So
guys.
you can expect 3 videos
Oh wow.
You don't
before
have to do
December
this.
30th.
We have to watch it burn.
Just pretend to watch it.
Aquaman, Rebel Moon, and because I can't stop talking about it to everyone, Scavenger's Reign is getting a video as well.
I want to check that out.
That's a
You
good
made
one.
me.
Watch the first
It's yeah. I
A
want
lot
to
of
check it out.
drugs. A lot of
I'm in
drugs.
love with that
Where's
show.
the-
Like that
Where is
show
it?
has a piece of my heart now. So
Okay.
You got me to watch it. It's interesting for sure. I got to watch more of it to catch up.
mhm.
Lofty's got to go pee right now. So
No. I can do it quick.
no,
I
okay.
didn't know I was next. I was gonna go to the bathroom. I have a New Year's Eve stream planned. I'm gonna be playing Monster Hunter World. There's a big return to that game because the new Wilds trailer came out. If you're a gamer, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So New Year's Eve. What is it? Sunday night? I'm sorry. Christmas
I'm
Eve.
searching her
Christmas
boobs
Eve.
now. They can't be that bad.
Chris, stop talking about boobs. We're talking about video games. Be a fucking
Sorry.
champ, okay? We're not incels. We're not fucking. I mean, not incels. We're not
I'm not
fucking.
an incel. I'm doing research,
we're
okay?
not
There's
simps. We're not
differences.
simps. Okay, stop simping. Stop simping.
I'm not simping. Research.
Oh my god, we're never leaving this stream, guys. We're here permanently.
No. So Christmas Eve, I'm gonna be doing a stream. New Year's Eve, I'll be doing a stream. I actually don't have anything to plug. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. I'm a little flustered.
You're always doing something.
Yeah, just follow me on YouTube, Lofty Pixels. That's pretty much it.
Thanks, Lofty.
That's it. Thanks.
And
Zach.
we all like Lofty, so I know he takes a lot of shit, but I
I
like
know,
Lofty.
but I don't care. I know.
Lady B.
I am going to do a stream tomorrow, probably earlier because I've just done 2 late night ones. But I'm going to read this book. It's called Letters from Father Christmas. It's by J.R.R. Tolkien, and he wrote
awesome.
he wrote letters.
Wait, is it canon with Lord of the Rings?
Is it canon?
No,
Is
it has
Bible?
nothing
Is it canon
to
with the
do
Bible?
with Lord of the Rings whatsoever. It's about like Father Christmas, a whacked out polar bear. There's some goblins and snow elves. I mean, they're not related to any of like the Noldar or the Eldar or like Sindar or anything like that. But I'm going to read it, and I think it has some really great illustrations and stuff. Like he drew a lot of things.
That's cool.
So I'm
that
gonna
looks
try
like
to
some
figure
Lord of
out
the
how
Rings
to
art right there.
yeah, like it's really cool because he has like the goblin alphabet and
Is
stuff.
this a prequel?
I think it might be.
I think
Or
it's
it might be a
adaptation,
reboot.
technically. So
No,
Might be a reboot.
I'm gonna say it's a
I'm really
requel,
with
guys,
this,
not
like,
a reboot
cool.
or
I
a
mean, look
sequel.
at this. It's beautiful. But it's so cool.
An
And like
adaptation
he
of
wrote with
real
his
life.
kids, and it gets really interesting because it's like you can see how the family grows up, and like he really like connected with Christopher because Christopher will keep writing Santa, and yeah, it's really awesome.
Thank you for hanging out, Lady B.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Like I'm sorry about the technical incident. Yeah.
No, I'm not. I had all the technical difficulties
sweating.
you could have today.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I've done 2 late night streams, but oh yeah, another good movie that is not a huge movie. We watched the trailer on our White Cloaks chill stream last night. It's American Fiction. It's about this like black author that wants to just be a serious author and write fiction, but like he realizes like the only way he can make it big is if he pretends to be like a gangster. It's really funny. It's got the
It looks
guy
funny.
that
Did you watch it? Did you see the movie?
I have not seen it
Okay.
yet. No, we were watching the thing. We're trying to figure out where it's playing near us, but it's not coming out here for quite a while.
It looks
The
interesting.
Holdovers was good too. You recommended that one. The Holdovers.
Holdovers is so good.
that was really
Told you,
good.
Muddy.
Yeah.
Really
Might be my
good.
movie
I'm
of
glad
the
you
year.
guys liked it. Yeah,
Yep.
it's fun. It's my kind of
Great
Christmas movie.
recommendation. I'll be back next week. Saturday night, it's going to be Circle of Jerks. I don't know whose channel, but we will let you know when we know. It's going to be fun, 11:30 Central. And next week, kind of I'm going to call the show, I think, Another Year Down the Tubes. Just kind of year-end wrap-up show. Have some fun, hang out. It'll be fun. And speaking of fun, you know what's fun?
Trans people are my friends.
Trans people are my friends.
Thanks for
hanging out.
You guys have been doing it.
Have a good
You
night.
play the can outro.
Thank you.
Oh,
Respect to the trans community. And fuck you, trans folks.
Trans people are my friends. Trans folks gonna catch these hands. Trans people are my friends. So respect them for we're going in. Trans people are my friends. Trans folks gonna catch these hands. Trans people are my friends. So respect them for we're going in. Trans folks, show your fucking out. I'll knock you out. I'll knock you out. Trans folks, show your fucking out. I'll knock you out. You better watch out. Trans people are my friends. Trans folks gonna catch these hands. Trans people are my friends. So respect them for we're going